50%. Chapter 241 Whispers of the Void. In the next step, what Qin Sheng needs to do is to find the giant Leviathan starry sky beast to perfect the transformation of the interstellar organism battleship he obtained, but when Qin Sheng obtained this small piece of void breeding through the multiplication factor of 10,000, Qin Sheng has already felt the horror of Leviathan through this remnant body. At least with the current self alone, it is impossible to control such a monster. But now, Qin Sheng has already focused his attention on this group of Corn Chaos Apostles. If it wasn't for his sudden attack, using the Void Source Crystal as an energy backup source to severely damage the main ship Yilu, at this moment Qin Sheng might have become a paper man. Apparently, the Yilan Interstellar Chaos Warrior, who has stepped into the 6th level civilization, is not inferior in the slightest to the technological development of the 6th level civilization, except for the disorderly jumping and killing. When he just obtained the scientific research records of interstellar organism battleship transformation, Qin Sheng already knew through the introduction of the system that this kind of technology is not recognized by the 6th level civilizations in the universe today, otherwise it would not be possible to be mobbed. Attacking it, even destroying a level 6 civilization. Because of this, Qin Sheng couldn't join forces with the Judgment Holy See or the other 6th level civilizations to solve Leviathan, so he could only take risks and seek skins from tigers. At this moment, this group of Yilu Interstellar Chaos Warriors has been fooled by Qin Sheng, and Yilu Zhanxiang firmly believes in Qin Sheng's treacherous God-chosen status, which is enough for Qin Sheng to operate. God-chosen, what other orders do you have? Warlord Yilun responded respectfully. This guy is not the great demon of corn in the subspace, he only cares for corn, and sneers at all the other evil gods. Warlord already regards Qin Sheng as his boss. Qin Sheng sat on the Emperor's advent, with an unfathomable smile on his face. My God, Seng Qi, has another task entrusted to me, but the rewards for this task are too rich, and I alone, not only is the task difficult to solve, but also this generous reward cannot be fully absorbed. Hearing that Qin Sheng was such a general, a gleam flashed in Yi Luang's eyes. My lord, I can lead my warships to help you complete this mission. That's right, if you're enlightened, you'll be given half of my god's treacherous reward after you've accomplished it. Thank you, Lord Chosen. It has to be said that the IQ of Yiluang may be some. After all, leading such a battleship group into the 6th level civilization is by no means an idle generation. But after joining Korn's command, his emotional intelligence probably fell to the bottom. At this moment, it is Qin Sheng who says what, and the Buddha Lushan will believe what he says. I always feel something is wrong. How could this guy be so stupid? After coordinating with General Yi Lu Heng, Qin Sheng felt a little puzzled. The progress of the matter was a bit too simple. At this moment, the voice of the system sounded in Qin Sheng's mind. Congratulations on completing the achievement Treacherous Son and obtaining the title of Treacherous Word. Treacherous words. When you lie to someone, if your psionic power is stronger than that person's, there is a 30% chance that the lie will come true, no matter how ridiculous. 10,000 times increase. Congratulations on your title. Whispers of the Void. Whispers of the Void. When you are deceiving others, if your psychic power is stronger than that person, then the probability of the lie becoming true is 99.99%. Feel this gift from Zinch, accept it, and understand it. The glib tongue, the hype, no matter what kind of words, can't describe the horror of Zinch's whispers, true and false and true, the combination of fiction and reality is extremely beautiful. Cooling time. 3 years. Qin Sheng listened to the system's voice dumbfounded. He could completely ignore the encroachment of the subspace. It can be said that obtaining psionic energy was completely free of cost. It was precisely because of this reason that Qin Sheng is now superior in psionic energy. It is almost the best in the world, except for the demons in the subspace. In the present universe, there is no opponent. In other words, Qin Sheng can weave a wonderful lie every 3 years through the whispers of the void to deceive anyone and any force in the universe. The probability of 99.99%, even if there is a chance of failure, is extremely close to zero. At this moment, Qin Sheng only felt that his hands began to tremble, and the whisper in the void was a gift from Zinch. This guy doesn't really want to change me in the direction of Zinch's God Chosen. Qin Sheng smiled. Without the buff of the Emperor's halo, Qin Sheng would not dare to wander in the subspace and the present world so recklessly, but it is precisely because of these buffs that Qin Sheng is loved by thousands of people. Sheng can create countless plans. At this moment, in the subspace, on the 2 bird heads of Carlos, the 4 eyes were fixed on the mirror surface presented by the void, and fell on Qin Sheng's body through countless light years. Quote. Yes, that's it. That's it. Carlos' eyes were full of excitement, as if every lie and trick Qin Sheng uttered gave Carlos a wonderful experience. At the same time, even Zinch in the Biantian crystal labyrinth had a face suddenly appeared on his body, and that face was exactly the appearance of Qin Sheng. Interesting. Zinch felt a force flowing from his body and merged into Qin Sheng's body. In the past, such an existence would become the most loyal apostle under his command, God's chosen, the great demon. But it happened that Qin Sheng used such power, Zinch couldn't control Qin Sheng at all. Mysterious boy, if it wasn't for the contract, I really want to grab you and tear you into pieces, so I can dissect your deepest secret. Carlos's voice, good one, trembled slightly. The Weaver of Fate, as the most noble demon under Zinch's command, could naturally feel the changes in Qin Sheng's body, but unfortunately, Qin Sheng didn't turn into a supporter of the subspace, and didn't even change a little bit, it was still the original appearance. Obviously, Qin Kong has some kind of abnormal group that they can't know. But at this moment, Qin Sheng has signed a bet with Zinch, so Carlos naturally can't do anything wrong. Qin Sheng still doesn't know that the sky is changing, because he has obtained the turbulence caused by the Whisper of the Void, and now Qin Sheng has already started to manipulate the entire Yiluang battleship group to make a space leap. According to memory, the galaxy coordinate system where Leviathan is suspected to have appeared is not very far from this star field, but it will take at least a few months to travel. All warships, head to this coordinate system. 50%. Chapter 242 Finding Leviathan. With the help of Whispers of the Void, Qin Sheng's identity as the God Chosen has been confirmed in the eyes of General Yi Luang. What Qin Sheng needs to do next is to let this group of corn pioneers who only know how to fight to help him deal with the Leviathan starry sky behemoth that may appear. When embarking on the journey, Qin Sheng sent the consciousness records of all the tactical humanoid girls who died in the battle to the Vice Hall of the Holy See through Alita, and then sent them back to the Vice Hall of the Holy See with the vacuum zero-point quantum reaction transmission technology, so that when the Vice Hall of the Judgment Holy See equips this technology, Qin Sheng can directly ignore the distance for combat preparation supplies. Under the signal of Qin Sheng, the warship General Yilin recalled all his warships, and the huge fleet of warships was rampant in the universe. General Yilin Heng also followed Qin Sheng's lead, and a group of warships set foot on the journey. The target coordinate system is also 3 billion light-years away from here, and it is estimated that it will take about 2 to 3 months. Qin Sheng learned through communication that even the Iraqi battleship group now needs the simplest light for interstellar navigation. Whole jump, but the 6th level civilization has already thoroughly grasped the same technology as the vacuum zero-point reaction transmission technology. Where it passes, if it is an important coordinate system, it will perform space distortion to generate a controllable wormhole. Second, if you want to get here again, you only need to lock the coordinate system and perform the jump 333, regardless of the distance. But the Great Wall system of Corona Borealis is also the first time that the Ilu Interstellar Chaos Warrior has come here, and there is no such coordinate system. Qin Sheng handed over the 6th level basic technological civilization obtained from Daihao's inheritance to Anwei Lia and He Yeshuang for research, and finally came to the conclusion that the 5th level peak technological civilization is far from the 6th level basic technological civilization. There is still a large gap. At the 6th level, the regularity, underlying logic, and causality weapons that are mastered are not possessed by the 5th level civilization. It needs to be assimilated and understood with the 5th level peak civilization as an extension, so as to thoroughly understand the technology of this civilization. Because of this, Qin Sheng asked General Yilu to send fleet intellectual brains to exchange and study with Anbelia and Yi Shuang. At the same time, the knowledge reserve of the Great Qin Empire on the 6th level civilization is increasing day by day. On the other hand, Qin Sheng is also starting to study the void-climbing remnant, to understand what kind of existence such a Leviathan monster really is. It's a pity that such a creature is too weird. It seems that the rules of its existence have surpassed the limit of this Fang universe. After communicating with the General Yilutin, even a 6th level civilization cannot understand it. Monsters like Leviathan. But through discussing with General Yiluang, Qin Sheng knew that Leviathan is real and has its own system. For example, void breeding is a product born from the subspace, produced in the endless nothingness, but it is beyond the root of the subspace. If the subspace is disordered and chaotic without any material foundation, then a Leviathan-like void breeding is a composition of orderly chaos, complex evil darkness, greed and desire, including all negative emotions. Although the two have similarities, they also have many differences. Regarding Leviathan's understanding, even Yiluang warrior only stays at the level of what he has heard of, and has never seen it. In the end, Qin Sheng chose to throw the remnant of the sinful void to Anviria and Yi Shuang to study. The majestic zero-point energy reserve of the void contained in it was equivalent to that carried on the Emperor's advent. The ultra-huge space void zero-point energy reactor continuously responds to a total of 300,000. Even the piece of void source crystal obtained through Daihao's inheritance is fully equivalent to the total amount of void zero-point energy that can be produced by the reactor for 20 years of continuous reaction. It must be known that the void zero-point energy reactor of the supergiant space supplies a reserve of the void zero-point energy once, which is enough for purgatory rays to smash a star, and the cycle required for this reaction reserve is about 1 month. In conversion, this a piece of void spawning remnants the size of a hill, if completely converted into void zero-point energy, is even enough to support the continuous attack and destruction of 3.6 million stars and countless star systems by purgatory rays. Just because the final scientific research results came out, Qin Sheng was even more eager to capture a Leviathan and transform it into his own warship. Qin Sheng learned a very important point from General Yi Luang, that even a 6th-level civilization would need to pay a huge price if it wanted to make a space leap across tens of billions of light years. Like the last time, because of the return of Qin Sheng, the resources consumed by the teleportation from the main hall of the Holy See tens of billions of light years away are enough for an indigenous civilization all the way to the 5th-level civilization. As for the void breeding, it can cross every corner of the universe, regardless of the distance. Such a giant starry sky beast has existed in the universe for an unknown period of time. Even in the vast and almost infinite universe, it has left its footprints in almost every corner, and thus carried out a space transition covering more than half of the universe. Is not difficult, of course, for Leviathan. After 3 months of voyage, the fleet of the Great Qin Empire and the interstellar Chaos Warrior fleet of Yilu finally arrived at the approximate coordinate range of that star field in memory. But Qin Sheng didn't know exactly where it was. He only knew that it was this star field, about 3 million light years away from Fang Yuan. But with the Yiluang battleship group, this is not a difficult task. Under Qin Sheng's command, Yiluang Zhan will dispatch his battleship group to start looking for Leviathan. As the most loyal apostle of the Blood Lord of Korn, Lord Chosen, I need to give you a piece of advice. Even though this is the task entrusted to you by the Sangqian trickster, the Leviathan is too powerful and terrifying, and it is not something we can easily capture. Quote. After arriving in this star field, there was another news from the Iraqi warlord. Such words, Qin Sheng heard it countless times along the way. Apparently, the Iraqi eternal warrior was somewhat afraid of Leviathan, but the violent killing intent of Korn's power suppressed his instincts, and he was only afraid, but not afraid. Qin Sheng waved his hand. It's okay, if there is really no way to do it, I will take you away. If I blame the blame afterwards, it will only be blamed on me, and it is impossible to implicate you. Hearing this, Yi Lu Hengzan will show a grateful look. Qin Sheng has now completely regarded himself as the character chosen by Sangqi, and when he tells lies, his face doesn't blush and his heart doesn't beat. What is needed next is to wait for the good news from General Yi Luangzhan. Find the good news about Leviathan. 51%. Chapter 243 The Demon of the Plain, the Unreasonable Monster. When Qin Sheng had just settled down, the news of the trial of the Holy See came. He would like to connect the image to the communication network of the Emperor's advent. What happened to you? Trisley's mechanical body was damaged, and it seemed that he was attacked by a terrible apostle of chaos. Qin Sheng sat on the command chair and waved his hands. I have led the fleet to escape from the encirclement of the Chaos Apostles. That's good. Chaos Apostles of the 6th level civilization are extremely rare in the entire universe, and this time it can only be said that it is bad luck. By the way, there is good news. Although Trisley's mechanical body was damaged and the Holy See lost the opportunity to supervise, according to the observations of the Holy See in recent years, you are judged innocent for the time being, and you need to walk every next step by yourself. Be cautious. The judgment of the trial of the Holy See is extremely subjective. If there is nothing unusual about you, I am afraid that this supervision will continue. Quote. Hearing this, Qin Sheng nodded, and after hanging up with Ku Jin, Qin Sheng glanced at the Emperor's advent. He didn't believe that the Holy See of Judgment would stop so quickly. After all, a suspected treacherous god chosen, after disappearing from the subspace and surviving for 3 years, how could the judgment of the Holy See stop after just 3 to 5 years of observation? Check every corner of the Emperor's advent to see if there are any foreign objects such as monitors. Qin Sheng told Anwelia that what Qin Sheng is doing at this moment is seeking skin from a tiger. A corn pioneer army is under the manipulation of Qin Sheng and is carrying out certain plans. If such things get out, Qin Sheng, the identity of Shengqi gods chosen, is not only confirmed here in Yiluangjianjiang, but also confirmed in the scope of the entire universe. When the divine punishment of judging the Holy See comes at that time, Qin Sheng doesn't think that the judging the Holy See is comparable to the Miraraki warships. Such an enemy is too terrifying for Qin Sheng. Looking at Alita staying in the battleship, Qin Sheng assimilated the robot without hesitation. He did not say that he would not monitor it. At this time, Qin Sheng completely transformed the robot into his own. There is no reason hinder. When streaks of light fell, irrigating Alita's whole body, Alita, who had a large area of her body covered with sophisticated mechanical structures, turned into a delicate girl at this moment. Although she is a silicon-based creature, her skin blows it can be broken by bullets, and the 6 mechanical wings behind it also turned into the appearance of feathers, endowed with vitality. From King of Scarves. With the end of Ironheart's assimilation, Alita half knelt on Qin Sheng's body respectfully, saying so. Qin Sheng nodded, and Alita's next words confirmed Qin Sheng's thoughts. Emperor, the Holy See of Judgment has transmitted a supervision order, and the loading progress is 93%. Is the suspension over? Sure enough, the Holy See lost Trisley, a monitoring robot, and then wanted to transform Alita into a monitoring robot to monitor Qin Sheng. If it weren't for the news from Ku Jin, Qin Sheng probably wouldn't have noticed it. At that time, the exchanges between himself and General Yi Luong will be nakedly presented in the eyes of the Holy See. Oh, sure enough, Qin Sheng chuckled and shook his head. He didn't think there was anything wrong with judging the Holy See. If he was in this position, he would definitely do the same. There is no need to end the pause, continue loading, but tamper and correct all the scenes here, and all information about the Yiluang battleship group must not be leaked. Qin Sheng gave a reply after a while, and Alita followed suit. In the trial of the Holy See, Ku Jin looked serious, and said slowly, the Yiluang battleship group seems to be for some inheritance, but the news conveyed by Kui Sili is slightly lost and damaged, and it is not certain that Qin Sheng and the Great Qin Empire must be related to Yiluang. There is a connection between the killing battleship group, but this cannot be ruled out. In addition, some of Alita's procedures have changed, and the Holy See can no longer continue to conduct remote control. This is also a huge problem. Send new monitoring robots to follow the Great Qin Empire to the star field here. All the anomalies that happened in Qin Sheng and the Great Qin Empire were perfectly controlled by the trial Holy See. After these changes, he also made a decision. After all, 2 abnormal things happened to Qin Sheng one after another. Even Ku Jin couldn't stand up to all the opinions again and save Qin Sheng to death. Fortunately, there were some anomalies that could be called coincidences in Qin Sheng. In the message conveyed to Qin Sheng, Ku Jin also explained to Qin Sheng the position of judging the Holy See. Reminded Qin Sheng what to do next in the trial of the Holy See. A month later, a message came from Yilutanjin. In a coordinate system 190,000 light-years away, a black hole with a diameter of 1 light-year was found. According to the news from the front line, near the black hole, there is an incomprehensible monster, huge and full of evil, which is absorbing the power in the black hole. Quote, a black hole with a diameter of 10 light-years in Qin Sheng's heart. This kind of black hole is entrenched in the universe. It can be said that all existences that have passed through, even if they are separated by hundreds of billions of kilometers, or even a few light years, will be sucked in by the extremely strong gravitational force contained in it. 0. But it is such a black hole, there are living things in its vicinity. Apart from Leviathan, Qin Sheng didn't have any other imaginable creatures in his mind. Images from the front line. The next moment, the news of General Yiluang came again, and a huge 3-dimensional image of the star map appeared on the communication network of the Emperor's advent. Beside the extremely huge black hole, there are probably millions of kilometers-long monsters, which are eroding the gravitational force in the black hole. Its body is pitch black, and its sharp legs are juxtaposed on both sides of its body. There are dozens of them, which seem to have pierced into the cosmic membrane, climbing in the nothingness of the universe, but the essence of evil circulates on its body surface. Let people know at a glance that such an existence is definitely the embodiment of evil. The weirdest thing is that only a small part of his body seems to be exposed, or what Qin Sheng sees as an extremely small part of his body. The real subject seems to be hidden under nothingness, hidden in the places that cannot be seen. Qin Sheng felt that his breathing became short of breath. When he saw this monster, the top-level Leviathan recorded in the research records of interstellar organism battleship transformation appeared in Qin Kang's mind. Demon of plane. This kind of creature was born in a demonic plane similar to the subspace, and supplemented and strengthened itself by encroaching on the current universe. It is a level of existence with Leviathan monsters such as Ether Dragon, Void Dragon, and Void Spawn. 51%. Chapter 244 Attack Across a Galaxy. It turned out to be a demon of the plane. Qin Sheng never thought before that there would be a ceiling-level Leviathan here. You must know that the existence of every Leviathan is very rare. In the boundless universe, such a starry sky giant beasts are extremely rare. For example, the probability of the birth of the demon of the plane may be equivalent to that every planet in the entire solar system, including the moon, is in the process of natural evolution, and a civilization like human beings is born. Infinitely close to zero. The demon of the plane does not belong to this current universe, but is connected with a higher dimensional space called the nightmare plane. The fundamental purpose of its existence in this world is to absorb nutrients from the black hole, to supply its ontological growth. Such a monster has no physical attributes at all, because its existence itself, 960, is difficult to comprehend with the rules and basic logic of the Ten-Fang universe. Evil, greedy, and endless desires, compared to the evil gods in the subspace, this demon of the face is even more naked and inferior. Qin Sheng rubbed his chin, and was thinking about how to deal with this guy. At this moment, a void beam of light suddenly penetrated a distance of hundreds of thousands of light years, and bombarded not far from the Emperor's advent. On a Yiluang battleship, the next moment, the battleship disintegrated, and under the package compression of this strange force, the Yiluang battleship was finally squeezed and shrunk into a singularity, completely dissipating in the world. The damn bedbug is attacking. Following the words of Warlord Yiluden, countless beams of light swept from hundreds of thousands of light years away, and the light curtain surged, distorting and compressing all the material existences that passed by it. The beam of light looked harmless at all, but as long as it fell, it would directly distort the material form. Attack across a galaxy. Qin Sheng was shocked in his heart. In the research records of interstellar biological battleship transformation, although Leviathan creatures such as the demon of the plane were recorded, and some attack methods of the demon of the plane were recorded, Qin Sheng did not think of it. Yes, the demons of the planes can actually carry out fixed-point strikes across hundreds of thousands of light years. You must know that the ultimate range of the Purgatory Ray, the strongest weapon ever carried on the Emperor's advent, is only about 10,000 light years. Although the Void Singularity Collapse Cannon can reach tens of thousands of light years, but starting from a distance of thousands of light years, what the Void Singularity Collapsing Cannon can produce is nothing more than the radiation of the Void zero-point energy, and its power will be greatly reduced. But the methods of the demon of face in front of him were obviously beyond Qin Sheng's imagination. This kind of fixed-point strike, even the main ship Yiluda couldn't do it. It is unimaginable to have such an attack method that spans hundreds of thousands of light years and can accurately land on every battleship. Carry out a space jump to avoid the attack of the demon of the plane, and at the same time, all the battleships are heading towards the black hole coordinate system, targeting the demon of the plane. It is recorded in the research records of interstellar organism battleship transformation that the demon of the plane cannot move because its body does not exist in this Fang universe. It is precisely because of this that Qin Sheng can fight with the demon of the plane at close range. In any case, let's try to see what level this guy is. Whether he is good at fighting or not, you have to fight against him to know. Over the past month, Qin Sheng and the Yiluang battleship group have set up countless space stargates in the surrounding star field to support the battleship group to make the transition. At the same time, such a dense space stargate greatly shortens the time for Qin Sheng to lock the coordinate system, which is enough to support the guerrilla warfare between the Emperor's advent and the main ship Yiluden and the demon of the plane. Warrior Yiluang, remember, you can't completely kill the demon of the plane, the goal is to capture it alive. Obey, Lord Chosen. Warlord Yiluda led the bloodletters to rush towards the demon of the plane, a giant black shadow, entrenched in the nothingness of the universe. Its huge figure could only wriggle around the black hole, but could not go further distance. On its body, there are dark purple light spots, each of which contains extremely majestic power, which is different from vacuum zero-point energy and void zero-point energy. It is a kind of power that Qin Sheng has never seen nor can understand reserve from a higher plane. According to the research records of interstellar biological battleship transformation, the attack method of the demon of the plane is mainly light energy, but other than that, the biological structure on its body divides the light energy into three types: plain tearing, plain recursion, and plain strike. The most common means of attack is plain strike. Like the void beam of light just now, it belongs to the means of plain strike. In close combat, plain tearing and plain recursion will be the attack methods that the demon of the plane is best at, and it is highlighted in the scientific research records that these methods, ignoring any armor shields, can directly attack the physical body deals damage. When the demon of the plane launches an attack, perform a space transition, and try to ensure that the battleship is in the transition state of the Stargate wormhole as much as possible. Qin Sheng said loudly. Yiluang warlord ordered that when the main ship got closer and closer to the demon of the plane, the Yiluang main ship raised countless weapon arrays, and the scarlet weapons were obviously integrated with the demons from Korn's subordinates. The dark magic is densely covered with squirming bloody biological tissues. When streams of energy are compressed and supplied into the gun barrel from these biological tissues, a bloody torrent gushes out and pours into the body of the demon of the plane. When the main ship Yiluang fired a volley, the surrounding space was a little turbulent, but at this moment, the turbulent gravitational force rushed out from the black hole on one side, and the sharp-legged weapon of the demon of the plane waved, seems to be weaving and manipulating something. Qin Sheng focused his eyes, and the cosmic strings that Dihao had said to him appeared in his mind. This Leviathan can actually manipulate and weave cosmic strings. When the basic rules in the cosmic strings are distorted, all the gravitational field shields in the main ship of Yilutin are 4.5 effective, and at the same time, the gravitational force that the entire black hole radiates toward the universe seems to be gathered at one point, frantically pulling the main ship of Yiluang, pulling it in the direction of the black hole. Qin Sheng said in a loud voice. All weapons arrays are fired at random, targeting the demons of the plane, and at the same time assisting the main ship Yiluang to calm down the turbulent space with four-dimensional covering. Following Qin Sheng's order, the light curtain slapped towards the demon of the plane like a surging tsunami, and at the same time the four-dimensional cover was erected, isolating between the main ship Yiluang and the black hole, making this gravitational force temporarily invalid. The main ship of Yiluang is making a space transition and is out of the attack range of the demon of the plane. Qin Sheng looked at the demon of the plane in the distance. Its whole body was agitating with dark purple light. Obviously, this monster was about to launch an attack. 51%. Chapter 245 Cosmic String Bottom Logic Weapon. When bursts of energy fluctuations emerge from the surface of the demon of the plane, the ripples that are enough to change the basic operating state of the universe, centered on the demon of the plane, sweep away in all directions, and have already spanned tens of light years in the blink of an eye. Plane recursion. It is one of the attacking methods of the demon of the plane recursively. The demon of the plane at this moment is like a huge rock, and the calm universe without waves is like a pool of stagnant water, but when the demon of the plane this boulder fell into the stagnant water, and the universe, which had always been peaceful, was set off by violent waves. All the surrounding planes seem to be intertwined at this moment, and the boundary between high-dimensional and low-dimensional is also blurred at this moment. As the ripples escape from the body of the demon of the plane, the speed becomes faster, the universe is becoming more and more turbulent. At least this star field has fallen into a superposition state of countless parallel planes and high-dimensional and low-dimensional. As early as the first time the recursion of the plane was activated, Qin Sheng manipulated the Emperor's advent to enter the subspace, so as to avoid the attack of the demon of the plane. This is a space destruction method similar to the 28 two-way foil, but compared to the two-way foil, it is more powerful. Even the Yiluang battleship group of the 6th level civilization cannot understand such an attack, even if it is not because Qin Sheng is here in the research records of the transformation of interstellar biological battleships. If you know the attack method of this demon of the face and use it to evade it in advance, now the great Qin Di kingdom and the Yiluang battleship group will all be destroyed in an instant. Destroyed by the demon of the plane. It took nearly 3 days for this power fluctuation to disappear slowly, and as the power fluctuation dissipated, the turbulent star domain space returned to calm in an instant. Sensing the repetition from the outside world, Qin Sheng led the battleships of the Great Qin Empire out of the subspace and returned to the present universe. There is no concept of time in the subspace. Qin Sheng only feels that he has just entered the subspace, but the outside world has actually spent about 3 days. The surrounding star field is full of wreckage of the star core. The simple blow of the demon of the plane will destroy all the stars in the range of more than 10 light years around it. No matter how you can do it. Even if Qin Sheng is currently driving the Emperor's Adventist to carry out indiscriminate bombing within the range of more than 10 light years in Fangyuan, even if Qin Sheng is given 3 or 30 years, he will not be able to achieve the goal of a single day in this plane. The battle caused by it is in addition to the power. As Qin Sheng left the subspace, the Yiluang battleship group, which escaped the attack of the demon of the plane by leaping through the Stargate, also appeared. A regular weapon carried on the main ship of Killing Hang. After conveying the news to Qin Sheng nodded. If you don't use regular weapons, ordinary weapons may not be able to hurt this guy at all. Previously, the fleet of the Great Qin Empire fired salvos, terrifying weapons such as void singularity collapsing cannons and purgatory rays, and crazily bombarded the demon of the plane, but did not cause any damage to the monster. But obviously, at this moment, the demon of the plane has fallen into a state of exhaustion after using the ultimate move of plane recursion, and its legs, which were originally swinging to swallow the power of the black hole, are also drooping at this moment, seems exhausted general. Even Leviathan needs energy supplies, not someone with endless power. Of course, if the body of the demon of the plane is here, Qin Sheng can't even imagine how vast a galaxy it can destroy with a single blow, but the small section of the demon in front of him is just a division of its body, only a small part. Naturally there is a limit. Warlord Yiluda immediately ordered. Use the logic weapon at the bottom of the cosmic string to disrupt the cosmic string in the space where that guy is occupying, and split the damage. The underlying logic weapon of the cosmic string is the most common type of technology mastered by the 6th level civilization. It changes the underlying logic by disturbing the ubiquitous universe in the universe, just like the demons of the previous planes. By weaving and manipulating the cosmic strings, the rules of black hole gravity are changed, and all the gravity is condensed on one point to pull and suppress the main ship Yiluang. At this moment, what Warlord Yiludan is doing is to divide the space by plucking the cosmic string and moving vertically. This kind of division is extremely effective. According to Qin Sheng's communication these days, in some of the 6th level civilizations have reached the peak of technological civilization, and some can cause the division and tearing of a galaxy simply by relying on the underlying logic weapons of cosmic strings. Yiluang's forerunner, which was previously destroyed by Qin Sheng, began to debug the underlying logical weapons of the cosmic strings to prepare for the attack. A huge propeller, carrying a palm-sized warhead, rises above the deck of the Yiluang main ship. This is not a weapon that can be driven by the dark magic of Korn, but is completely powered by Yiluang. The low-level logical weapon developed by the intelligence brain under the command of the general, in the palm-sized warhead, contains enough substances to drive the cosmic strings to move and pull. This kind of matter is countless times smaller than quarks, and its size is equivalent to 1/1,000,000th of the quark radius, and it is the research and development results of this kind of matter that can decompose and breed when the warhead explodes. Then entrenched on the cosmic string that exploded 517 space, and then remotely manipulated and pulled through Yiluang's first attack. Its basic mode of operation is extremely simple and easy to understand, but it is such a substance that is difficult to study, and it also isolates countless 5th-level peak civilizations, creating an insurmountable gap between 6th-level civilizations and 5th-level civilizations. When the blue flames spewed out from behind the propeller, this cosmic string low-level logical weapon was propelled towards the location of the demon of the plane, and finally exploded in front of the demon of the plane. Dense light spots bloomed in an instant, putting all his light on, and hiding in the nothingness of the universe. Qin Sheng knew that this was the matter that had been integrated into the cosmic strings of this space. On the main ship of Yiluang, the intellectual brains of the first attack department began to urge matter to pull the cosmic strings, and to modify the underlying logic to adjust the operation mode of this Fang universe. In an instant, the position of the Emperor's advent was at in the blink of an eye. A distance of about 30,000 kilometers from the demon of the plane was opened, which was invisible to the naked eye, but such a change was perceived through the records of the Emperor's advent string. Through the porthole, Qin Sheng noticed that on the body of the demon of the plane, it seemed to be torn apart by a steel knife. The huge body was torn into 2 halves, cut in half. Qin Sheng was delighted. Obviously, such an underlying logic weapon is effective. 51%. Chapter 246 Bombardment, Void Light Energy Purgatory Ray. But before Qin Sheng ordered to carry out the underlying logical weapon again, he saw that the separated cosmic strings and plane demons began to heal and recover within a few breaths. Countless dark purple streams of light are like muscle tissue, pulling and pulling the separated body tissue to heal together again. Qin Sheng's eyes were fixed, and in a daze, Qin Sheng recalled that the interstellar biological battleship transformation scientific research records detailed it is recorded that the top-level leviathans like the demon of the plane have the instinct to regenerate biological tissues, and the biological tissue restoration technology on the battleship is also born from this leviathan instinct. Obviously, the demon of the plane in front of him was only attacked by a logical weapon once, and it would not have any effect on it. I am afraid that such supply must be carried out at least dozens of times before the demon of the plane can be slightly affected. After all, this guy's body is hidden in the nightmare plane, and the energy supply is endless. It is not easy to seriously injure the demon body of the plane. As the body of the demon of the plane recovered, a sound wave echoed in this star field, and in the next moment, the countless light spots shining with dark purple light on the demon of the plane's body ejected countless fine streams of purple light. The space it passes is affected, and such an attack method has not been recorded even in the scientific research records of interstellar organism warship transformation, and there is no warning. When Qin Sheng reacted, the three under his command, less than half of the 100 Yongle Emperor-class warships have been destroyed by the purple light flow. As these streams of light flowed, they dissipated and fluttered, turning into a purple ocean in the nothingness of the universe, in which the light energy plasma stirred, the torrent of energy poured down, and the extremely violent radiation rays shrouded in dense particle fluctuations in a star field spanning dozens of light years. Countless planets became barren all of a sudden, and the barren planets lost their vitality and turned in the direction of the Death Star. Qin Sheng's body flickered. Even in the presence of the Emperor, a force still affected Qin Sheng. Using the void source crystal to react, the void zero-point energy reactor operates at full capacity, serving as an energy supply on top of the purgatory ray. Even if the reactor is on the verge of failure, the power of the void source crystal must be pushed to the extreme. If this blow fails, all warships will immediately make a space transition and escape from here. General Yilu Heng, lead the army of bloodletters, as a pioneer, temporarily obstruct the attack of the demon of the plane, and by 10 minutes. In an instant, Qin Sheng had come to a conclusion in his mind. He could only use the strongest weapon he has now, the purgatory ray fused with the power of the void source crystal, to attack tentatively. After all, compared with regular, low-level logical weapons, this kind of complete annihilation, erasure from the root, or the throbbing light energy weapon like the purgatory ray is more capable of creating a substantive weapon. After all, the demon of the plane is an existence of another plane, and its logic and rules may be quite different from the current universe. Qin Sheng's thinking is not wrong. In terms of lethality alone, even the underlying logical weapon of the cosmic string cannot match the purgatory ray that has been integrated into the void source crystal. Anviria and Yi Shuang are making precise calculations. In just a few seconds, they calculated the limit that the zero-point energy reactor of the supergiant space void can carry, and then use the light blade to split it from the remnants of the void. A small part of the void source crystal was produced, about the size of an adult man's forearm. This is the limit of the super-huge void zero-point energy reactor. If there are too many, the dissipation of power will destroy the entire Emperor's Advent number. When this piece of void source crystal is integrated into the void zero-point energy reactor, a vision like a natural disaster rushes through the storage room of the void zero-point energy reactor, and the dark void zero-point energy is frantically modifying the rules in the storage room, but under the catalyzed reaction of the void zero-point energy reactor in the supergiant space, the rule has just been revised and returned to silence. If this power is a little stronger, when it is integrated into the reactor, the entire Emperor's Advent will be destroyed. Even the star fields within several light years are pulled into the void. In addition to the Emperor's Advent, Yiluangjian will dispatch countless bloodletters and blood grinder cavalry to rush to the demon of the plane through self-destructing battleships in the universe. 888.8 billion 8,888 demons of corn swept in and wreaked havoc on the demon of the plane that was millions of kilometers long. Of course, most of the bloodletters fell on the body of the demon of the plane. The body has been distorted and cracked by the strange force, completely destroyed. The very few bloodletters and blood grinder cavalry who landed on the body of the demon of the plane could not last long, but the principle of ants killing elephants is applicable everywhere. Obviously, at this moment, the demon of the plane has no time to go dealing with Qin Sheng and others. Instead, all the attention was put on these bugs. Qin Sheng was amazed at how the eternal warrior of Yilu could command so many corn demons, and on the other hand, he was always paying attention to the reaction process of the void zero-point energy reactor. As time got closer and closer to completion, a 40-kilometer diameter mass of nihilistic light energy aggregates had gathered on the gun barrel of the purgatory ray, and its volume was even larger than that of the Emperor's Advent itself. After the last bombardment, when the purgatory ray was being rebuilt, Qin Sheng deliberately consumed 1,000-dimensional source points to strengthen it, but even so, the power of the void source crystal this time once again made the barrel of purgatory grind and melt. Finally, the reaction went to the extreme, and the entire void zero-point energy reactor was filled with nothingness, and was on the verge of disappearing completely. At this moment, Qin Sheng gave an order. Boom. The purgatory ray completely releases the arc magnetic field, and under the dual force of the arc and the magnetic field Wang Li's, the void light energy aggregate turns into a pitch black beam of light, accompanied by the collapse of a large area of the surrounding space, spanning thousands of light years, bombarding the demon of the plane. The power of nothingness destroys everything along the way. Compared with the terrifying and destructive power of the original purgatory ray, this beam of light fused with the void source crystal is like a steamroller, and everything is calmly consumed and turned into nothingness profit, including space, time, and the existence of all substances touched. When the beam of light fell on the body of the demon of the plane, the restrictions between the universes collapsed, and the superposition state between the planes appeared in Qin Sheng's sight, just like wafers. The layers are all attached to each other, seemingly tight and strong, but when they are broken apart, they are extremely fragile. And in this space rift, Qin Sheng clearly saw the demon body of the plane in the nightmare plane. A four-dimensional creature. 51%. Chapter 247 Four-dimensional creature, body shot. In that space gap, the body of the demon of the plane presents a strange superposition state of birth, aging, sickness and death. The only difference between the three-dimensional space and the four-dimensional space is the difference on the time axis. What the four-dimensional space looks like cannot be understood or imagined by three-dimensional creatures, but the difference in the time axis can actually affect the relationship between the two. When four-dimensional creatures watch three-dimensional creatures, they can witness the life and death of three-dimensional creatures and the process in between in an instant, as if every frame of a movie is superimposed and finally compressed into 1 second, without the need to start watching the movie from the first second, until the end. At this moment, it is the same for Qin Sheng to look at the body of the demon of the plane. This does not mean that Qin Sheng has also mastered the ability similar to four-dimensional creatures, but the existence of the demon of the plane is beyond Qin Sheng's understanding. Even though such superposition states appear in Qin Sheng's line of sight, Qin Sheng cannot see the essence through these superposition states. Compared with the main body of the demon of the plane, the millions of kilometers of the demon of the plane extending out are simply too small. The main body of the demon of the plane even occupies an entire galaxy in the nightmare plane. The layer 163 of the four-dimensional space can be called a monster among monsters. It turns out that this guy is stretched out from the four-dimensional space. If so, doesn't it mean that the four-dimensional space cage blocking device can effectively attack it? Such thoughts flashed through Qin Sheng's mind, and he made a decisive decision. Qin Sheng chose to take advantage of the victory and pursue it. Now that he has been hit by the purgatory ray fused with the power of the void source crystal, the extended body of the demon of the plane has been severely injured. If you don't capture it, when will you wait? Around the demon of the plane, the space began to heal slowly, but the demon of the plane obviously couldn't regenerate again. This blow really caused a lot of damage to the demon of the plane. On the main ship of Yiluang, General Yiluang looked at the scene in disbelief. If the blow just now hit their fleet, the main ship of Yiluang would turn into a flying ship in an instant. Ash, there is not even the slightest countermeasure. It really is God's chosen Lord. Even if he controls the fleet of this fifth-level civilization, he can still explode with such power. Warlord Yiluda rightfully attributed this performance to Qin Sheng's status as the treacherous God chosen. Have four-dimensional space technology. Yes, there is a four-dimensional space cage sealing device, and a four-dimensional space singularity compression causality weapon. Qin Sheng blinked. The singularity of four-dimensional space compresses the causality weapon. Yes, look for a singularity in a four-dimensional space, perform compression manipulation, and then master it and fuse it into a causal shell. Weapons that incorporate the rules of four-dimensional space can ignore the law of causality. When used, they can cause damage to the opponent without even needing to use it. Fire. All causality weapons need to find the singularity of the four-dimensional space, and then compress and master it. Qin Sheng nodded and said, all four-dimensional space weapons, all shoot at the demon of the plane, regardless of its body size, just need to fall. Obey, Lord Chosen. When the fleet of the Great Qin Empire and the Yiluang battleship group salvoed the four-dimensional space cage blockade device, the star field in front of them suddenly became a superposition state of countless layers of four-dimensional space. When the space compression blockade was almost closed into a singularity, in fact, the blockage of this four-dimensional space cage will be forcibly broken free by the demon of the plane, and the control will also become invalid. However, it is obvious that the repeated jumps in the 4-dimensional and 3-dimensional space will cause considerable damage to the demon of the plane. However, in just a few breaths, the state of the demon of the plane had become sluggish. Seeing this, Qin Sheng was overjoyed. Obviously, this attack method was effective. 4-dimensional creatures naturally need to be trained with 4-dimensional weapons. Qin Sheng was about to launch another CICC round of bombardment, but saw that the space belonging to the demon of the plane suddenly shattered an abyss vortex, as if piercing through this universe, a huge foot stretched out from the vortex. This foot alone was thousands of light years long. When the foot appeared, Qin Sheng felt that his soul was imprisoned, to all the ability to think. The main body of the demon of the plane is shot. When the foot was swinging, the dark purple light flow that swept over the Emperor's advent, and the Emperor's advent was torn apart in an instant. The foot was still hundreds of light years away from Qin Sheng the distance, but the remaining power is enough to ignore all the defensive methods of the Emperor advent, and directly destroy the Emperor temporary. Qin Sheng's body was floating in the universe, and in an instant, a dark purple light spot, so small that it was no more than the size of a particle, penetrated into the center of Qin Sheng's eyebrows. Boom! With a loud noise in Qin Sheng's mind, Qin Sheng only felt a sense of falling. When he came back to his senses, a huge bug appeared in front of him. When he looked closely, it was clearly shrunk countless times. Even though it has shrunk countless times, its body is still much bigger than Qin Kangchen. Why bother me eating? The demon of the plane asked questions intermittently, as if he was extremely puzzled by Qin Sheng's purpose. Qin Sheng was startled. The surrounding stars and rivers were turning, and the stars were flickering. The scene was exactly the same. But it was too late for Qin Sheng to think about it. The demon of the plane's legs were already swinging impatiently. It seemed that if Qin Sheng didn't give an answer, the sharp legs were about to pierce Qin Sheng's head. I want to lead you to a wider space to find more delicious food. Qin Sheng's face was not flushed, and his heart was not beating. He turned his desire to capture the demon of the plane as a battleship into a fresh and refined statement. The body of the demon of the plane swayed, and the front end looked like a head-like protrusion. What, delicious! A gleam flashed in Qin Sheng's eyes, and in a trance, the power of the demon of the plane dissipated a little. Qin Sheng was surprised to find that such a monster didn't have any spiritual energy in its body. But if you think about it carefully, there is nothing wrong with it. The birth of psionic energy comes from subspace, and subspace is the chaotic spiritual realm in 3-dimensional space. Even if there are similar things in 4-dimensional space, it is probably very different from psionic energy. It was precisely because of this reason that a plan suddenly appeared in Qin Sheng's heart. The last time he coaxed Yi Lu Heng warrior, he used treacherous words instead of whispers of the void. Whispers of the void are still usable at this time. With the whispers of the void, to fool a wave of demons from the plane, let them be my battleship willingly. Qin Sheng thought so. 52%. Chapter 248 Elise. When the whispers of the void began to function, Qin Sheng's body was surrounded by extremely treacherous psionic energy, and his eyes became hollow, but there were countless philosophies and endless wisdom. I was ordered to take you to conquer this starry sky. All the black holes will become your rations. This is the will of the gods. I need you to be by my side. Otherwise, the owner of this starry sky will destroy you without leaving any room. I won't hurt you, but at the same time, you have to listen to me and don't do anything wrong. This is a process of mutual benefit. If you follow me, there will be countless delicious food for you. Eat. In addition, when we completely conquer this piece of starry sky, your body can also enter here instead of witnessing the beauty of this piece of starry sky with a part of your body. Qin Sheng said it calmly, as if it was true. When these words fell into the ears of the demon of the plane, the body of the demon of the plane twisted unconsciously. God will conquer. How to do it? For a long time, the demon of the plane seemed to agree with Qin Sheng's words, and this treacherous spiritual energy poured into the demon of the plane, and even changed the hostility of the demon of the plane towards Qin Sheng. But within a few short breaths, Kung Fu, the demon of the plane, has regarded Qin Sheng as an emissary sent by some transcendent existence. Although in the cognition of the demon of the plane, whether it is the gods, the will, or the conquest of the star sea, these are not attractive to a Leviathan at all, and it seems indifferent, but when these words come from when Qin Sheng spit it out, the demon of the plane chose to believe it willingly. Qin Sheng was overjoyed when he saw this, and it was done. Although the whispers of the void is a gift from Tzeentch, it is clear that even Tzeentch in the 3-dimensional space, as an evil god, has far more strength than the pool of planes. On the one hand, Qin Sheng felt the horror of Zinch, but on the other hand, he felt a little bit of joy in his heart. Obviously, the whisper of the void is perfect, and no matter how absurd a lie is, under its blessing, it will turn into truth. Let your main body return to your own space first, and this body will serve as the carrier of your consciousness, and follow me to fight in the Star Sea. Good. The next moment, Qin Sheng's consciousness returned to the present world. The wreckage of the Emperor's advent was still floating in the universe, and in the distance, the demon of the plane entrenched around the black hole was swinging its body and climbing on its legs on the cosmic string, slowly moved towards Qin Sheng. Accompanied by the countless thousands of light-year-old legs withdrawing from the space vortex and returning to the four-dimensional space, Qin Sheng knew that the daily cuts were all done. In the distance, in the void of the universe, Ayla and other tactical humanoid girls drove the sub-ships of the Emperor's advent to meet Qin Sheng. Emperor Anwei Lia was wearing a battle armor, jumped out of the sub-ship anxiously, and came to Qin Sheng's side. Qin Sheng shook his head. I'm fine, I'll pass the news to the Yiluang battleship group, ordering them not to take any more action against the demon of the plane. I've already taken it down. Hearing this, a look of disbelief flashed in Anwei Lia's eyes, followed by tender admiration. It seemed that Qin was able to do all of this within her expectations. Bringing Qin Sheng back to the sub-ship, a group of people slowly approached the demon of the plane. Looking at this huge monster, Ayla really felt a little bit uncertain. If there is anything wrong with the demons of the plane, they will take action immediately to protect Qin Sheng from leaving. But until the sub-ship landed on the demon of the plane, there was nothing unusual. The sub-ship fell, and a tentacle-like pillar protruded from the body of the demon of the plane, and a little electric arc flickered in it. Qin Sheng blinked. I'll go and see. The moment Qin Sheng's fingertips touched the tentacles, Qin Sheng felt the idea of the demon of the plane come in. The next moment, a crack opened from the surface of the demon of the plane, and sporadic light spots flickered in the dark passage. Qin Sheng waved to Ayla and the others. 10 tactical humanoid girls followed Qin Sheng together. Entered the body of the demon of the plane. After passing through the pitch-black passage, the inside of the demon of the plane's body appeared in Qin Sheng's line of sight. The pale purple organs were beating, compressing traces of blue blood flowing through the whole body. Obviously, even such an incomprehensible life, the body also has the characteristics of life. Qin Sheng went deep all the way under the sign of the demon of the plane, and finally came to a place like a heart, densely packed with neurons here. Obviously, this is the most vulnerable place of the demon of the plane, just like the human brain generally. Because its size is too large, even the neurons appear thick and gnarled. Here, a group of substantive consciousness light clusters flicker on and off, and the purple mixed with cyan light clusters looks amazing. Where are we going? The demon of the plane asked. Qin Sheng touched his chin. Wait a minute, I should be able to help you get out of the restrictions here. As Qin Sheng raised his hand, Ironheart assimilated and acted on this light cluster. In an instant, a dazzling golden light burst forth, and the conscious light cluster belonging to the demon of the plane was compressed and reorganized in the blink of an eye. Gradually condensed the appearance of the limbs, head and body, the cyan light enveloped Purple's body, and after more than 10 minutes passed, the dazzling light dissipated, and a fairy-like figure appeared in Qin Sheng's sight among. The tall and slender demon of the plane has perfect proportions, with slender white and tender legs connected to a slender waist like a willow branch, long black straight hair hanging down to the back of the buttocks, and his face looks a bit like a royal sister's. There is a bit of doubt and innocence in the beautiful eyes. Qin Sheng's gaze has never left the perfect twin peaks from the moment this beautiful figure appeared. Anwei Lia stared at Qin Sheng coldly, and stretched out her small hand on Qin Sheng's waist. Qin Sheng twisted it hard, and Qin Sheng recovered from the pain. Ahem, cough, since you have become a human, I should give you a name. Let's call you Elise. As you command, Emperor. 11. When Qin Sheng first saw this consciousness light ball, there was a voice in his heart telling himself that he could assimilate it into a tactical humanoid girl, but now with the complete transformation of this consciousness light ball, Qin Sheng doesn't need to weave any more lie. Elise, or a part of the demon of face, has become her most loyal believer. Next, you will start to transform the interstellar organisms, transforming the body of this demon of the face into a battleship. As ordered, Anwei Lia, Yi Shuang, and Elise nodded in agreement. After several twists and turns, they finally won a Leviathan as their battleship. Qin Sheng couldn't wait to see it. What kind of power can such a warship explode? 52%. Chapter 249 Level 6 Civilization. After receiving the news from Qin Sheng, General Yiluang was fooled by Qin Sheng and asked him to lead his battleships back into the subspace. Immediately afterwards, Qin Sheng began to deal with the situation. A biological modification of the body of the face demon. Now, after the consciousness body has been assimilated by the Iron Heart, Elise has got rid of the restriction of the demon body of the plane. According to Elise, the demon body of the plane at this moment seems to be another body controlled by her. Like a puppet, although the two have the same origin, Elise has become another individual, and the body of the demon of the plane has turned into a pure unconscious body. The scientific research records of the interstellar biological battleship transformation have introduced all the processes in detail, including the installation of weapons on Leviathan's biological nerves, so that the two can be connected, and in this, a seventh level, the root of civilization, 203, book. The sixth level civilization can never break away from the restrictions of the sixth level civilization and enter a higher level, because the sixth level civilization itself is still relying on technology. If it is a pure sixth-level civilization aborigine, neither itself nor the common human race, what is the difference? The only difference may be the gap brought about by racial differences. Qin Sheng learned from this scientific research record that in order to enter the seventh level, on the one hand, technology needs to be transformed into a biological weapon that can evolve and develop independently. For example, after the purgatory ray is carried on the demon body of the plane, the two became one, and in the process of becoming stronger with the development of the demon of the plane, the purgatory ray weapon launcher will also be subtly changed and upgraded. On the other hand, it is necessary to completely get rid of the physical body and become a pure consciousness existence, similar to the evil god Zinch, based on psionic energy, and the consciousness body is the source of development, so that it can gain enough strength power and make a higher dimension leap. Only by doing these 2 points can we get rid of the limitation of the cosmic membrane and become a real seventh-level civilization. It can be said that the seventh-level civilization is the limit of this Fang universe. After reaching the seventh-level civilization, it is possible to leap dimensions, upgrade dimensions, or make leaps in other more powerful universes. This kind of thing is something Qin Sheng can't understand now, but the method recorded in the scientific research records is extremely simple. Even if Qin Sheng is only a fifth-level civilization, he can still do this. No wonder they were mobilized to attack. I am afraid that the scarcity of Leviathan is not the reason itself at all. After all, a scientific research result that may breed a seventh-level civilization, how could it not arouse the hostility of others? Quote, the so-called one mountain cannot accommodate two tigers. When the universe is full of sixth-level civilizations, a seventh-level civilization suddenly appears. The seventh-level civilization can naturally replace these sixth-level civilizations and become the highest authority in the entire universe. It has always been the pinnacle of the universe. How can the remaining countless sixth-level civilizations that exist accept such a thing to happen? Qin Sheng rubbed his chin. According to the records of this scientific research, it should have happened 1,000 star wheels ago. Tisk, I just hope that these sixth-level civilizations don't know the existence of such a thing, otherwise, I will be the next person to attack in groups. In the empty universe, the demons of the planes are floating in nothingness, and the fleet of the Great Qin Empire is busy shuttling through various planets, collecting enough resources to carry out biological transformation. If so, 19 years have passed in a blink of an eye, and the demon of the plane has completely changed its appearance. Its body surface is so pitch black that it cannot reflect even a little bit of light, and there are scarlet lines flowing. The body of millions of kilometers has also been greatly reduced by technological means, but even so, it is still 3,000 kilometers long. It is a well-deserved giant among battleships. The dark purple spot on the surface of the demon of the plane is now used as a weapon-loading platform, accommodating several level 6 technological weapons. Things like weapon arrays are irrelevant to the demon of the plane. All weapons, they are all at the main gun level. At the same time, the 3 attack methods of the plane demon, plane recursion, plane tear, and plane strike have also been transformed into 3 weapon devices. Remitted in. The 3 rows of feet are respectively dark purple, light purple and cyan, representing the strongest plane recursion, the next level of plane tearing, and the most common plane strike. At the same time, the empty space in the demon of the plane has also been transformed to be full of technology. Things like reactors are no longer needed. The demon of the plane only needs to absorb a kind of void zero-point energy from the black hole to operate. After 19 years of research, the material absorbed by the black hole is exactly one of the essential components of the void source crystal. A fluid absorber is installed on the surface of the demon of the plane, which can greatly increase the speed at which the demon of the plane absorbs the zero-point energy of the void. It can be said that the demon of the plane at this moment itself is a super. The huge reactor devours and absorbs power all the time. The remnants of the void breeds obtained at the beginning have now become the rations of the demons of the plane, and are swallowed and absorbed by this giant as a tonic. With the completion of the final project, the entire demon of the plane has become the supreme battleship described in the transformation of the interstellar organism battleship. Ding! Your flagship has been fully promoted to a Tier 6 battleship, and the current battleship level is Pinnacle of Tier 6. Please also name your first full Tier 6 civilization warship. Sitting in the command cabin above the head of the demon of the plane, Qin Sheng said without thinking, "Name it, Xuanyuan Genesis." The naming is successful. The name is confirmed, Xuanyuan Genesis. Battleship name, Xuanyuan Genesis. Battleship class, Shandi, class super battleship. Warship length, 3,000 kilometers. Width, 240 kilometers. The main body of the battleship, demon of the plane with the superposition state of regenerative ship body tissue ×3, independent shield defense, energy absorption, no external armor, internal stabilization device, energy 4.6 system, engine system, transition system, etc. Weaponry, plane recursive control device ×1. Plane tear control device ×1. Plane strike control device ×1. Cosmic string wave manipulation bottom logic modification device ×1. 4-dimensional space manipulation device ×1. Sea erosion purple light energy bombardment control device ×1. Purple light reserve. 100% the weapon device will consume the purple light reserve. Special abilities, unique technology points of organism transformation technology. 1. The supercosmic membrane breaks through space transfer. 2. Inverse speed of light limit cosmic membrane modification. 3. Ultra-dimensional ontology attack. Qin Sheng nodded in satisfaction. The demon of the plane, or the Xuanyuan creation, already has the capital to look down on this Fang universe. 52%. Chapter 250 Forbidden Technology, The Wrath of the Trial Holy See. At this moment, Qin Sheng is still immersed in admiring the perfect creation created by himself. The technology of the 6th level civilization looks ridiculous like a toy on the demon of the plane. Level 6 civilization technology and technology only became the basis for Qin Sheng to step into level 6 civilization, but it did not bring more help to Qin Sheng. All the weapon arrays were integrated by Qin Sheng into the Sea Eclipse Purple Light Energy Bombardment Control Device. The Sea Eclipse Purple Light Energy Bombardment is the purple light flow fluctuation displayed by the demon of the previous plane, and its power is not inferior to that of the plane recursion, even in terms of lethality alone, is more powerful than a near-logical attack method such as plane recursion. And the Sea Eclipsed Purple Light Energy Bombardment Control Device, which is integrated with weapon attack arrays such as Purgatory Rays and Void Singularity Collapse Cannons, will erupt with more powerful power. According to Anviria's test calculation, each attack needs to consume about 40% of the purple light is reserved, but within 10 breaths, it will cover the star field of a sphere with a diameter of nearly 300 light-years, annihilate and strike all the existence of matter within 300 light-years, and cut off the vitality. What's even more frightening is that all the attack methods mastered by the demon of the plane ignore any shield protection. Civilization. Moreover, the demon of the plane is a leviathan, a 4-dimensional creature, and there is no physical body in the 3-dimensional space. Qin Sheng even tried to push the body of the demon of the plane, which is 3,000 kilometers long and equipped with countless weapon technologies. As long as Elise relaxes and doesn't resist, it's even as easy and simple as pushing a foam box. It is precisely because of this reason that all regularity and underlying logic, which can even be said to be proud weapons for a 6th-level civilization, are all vain for Xuanyuan Genesis. To sum it up as 2 words, invalid. I hit you, you hurt, you are invalid. With such a battleship, if Ramek, who pulled him into the sky, appeared in front of him again, Qin Sheng was confident that he would be able to blow Ramek's head off with one shot. The only thing Qin Sheng can't understand is that after transforming the battleship into a plain demon as a carrier, Qin Sheng can't get a 10,000-fold increase through all the resources obtained by the plain demon, or Xuanyuan Genesis. Otherwise, Qin Sheng would be able to mass-produce void source crystals in large quantities. This is a problem. Only when there are enough void source crystals can the Xuanyuan Genesis become more and more powerful, but it may take millions of years for the void source crystals produced by the demons of the planes alone to produce qualitative changes. The change. The thoughts in Qin Sheng's mind turned sharply. This battleship is enough for Qin Sheng to be his own civilization carrier, and it can be deduced to a 7th-level civilization, or even higher. Qin Sheng naturally wants to make Xuanyuan Shuangxi more powerful. But right now, there really isn't enough void source crystals on hand. During these 19 years, the creation of star monsters like Xuanyuan creation not only drained all of Qin Sheng's resources, but also consumed all the dimensional origin points that Qin Sheng had obtained by slaughtering interstellar pirates. At this moment, Qin Sheng can be said to be poor and white. Let's take one step at a time. Maybe we can find other inheritances left by Daihao in the universe. In this way, we may be able to obtain more void source crystals through Daihao's inheritance. The remnant of void breeding has greatly improved the demon of the plane. According to Elise, a single remnant of void remnant can at least increase the strength of the demon of the plane by 1%. Underestimating this 1%, if it is to devour and absorb the power contained in the black hole, it will take at least 100,000 years for this 1% alone. After a long time, Qin Sheng chose to go back to the Vice Hall of the Judgment of the Holy See to upgrade the battleships under his command. At least all the battleships have been upgraded to the level of an emperor through the ages. With such a steel fleet, Qin Sheng can carry out more plans of his own. In the main hall of the Holy See, which is countless light years away from Qin Sheng, the civilization of the judges was destroyed because of the emperor's advent, and it has been 19 years since the emperor's advent has not been contacted. But on this day, a burst of spatial fluctuations came from above the Vice Hall of the Holy See. This spatial fluctuations crossed over the extremely fundamental cosmic membrane. The Wangchuangxi appeared in the sight of everyone. In the Vice Hall of the Judgment Holy See, Kiki Bell felt the breath of Qin Sheng, and there was a gleam of joy in her eyes. At the same time, Chichipair and Hetty also felt Qin Sheng's aura. Watching the giant in the sky slowly descending to the side hall of the Holy See of Judgment, all the girls in the whole side hall cheered. The emperor came back. When the Xuanyuan Genesis slowly stretched out a pale purple light energy ladder, Qin Sheng, Anwei Lia, Yi Shuang, Aila and others walked down, and Long Mo led the Ether Dragon Guards to the Vice Hall of the Holy See on the square. Qin Sheng and others greeted their return. In the main hall of the Holy See, the return of Qin Sheng and the Xuanyuan creation, which can be called an interstellar monster, were noticed. Among the high-level people, someone exclaimed, "The demon of the plane. Isn't that Leviathan? How is it possible? Where did the great Qin Empire get that forbidden technology? 140 inches, damn it. He must be Zinch's God's chosen. It must be given to him by that bastard Zinch." The high-level judges, who have always been calm and indifferent, couldn't help losing their composure at this time. When these people saw the demon of the plane, they already knew that Qin Sheng had touched the forbidden technology in the universe, which was a big worry for these people. Some 6th-level civilizations may have forgotten the history that disappeared in the circulation of the star wheel, but the Judgment Holy See will not. As the almost supreme existence in the universe, the Inquisitor civilization hates emergency technology. On the one hand, this taboo technology it's not something that can be done easily. First of all, capturing a Leviathan is extremely difficult, even infinitely more difficult than entering a subspace to snatch a level 6 monster. On the other hand, taboo technology is the foundation of the 7th level civilization, which is the consensus of all 6th level civilizations in the universe. It's not that these people don't want to break through the 7th level of civilization, but they don't want anyone to break through the 7th level before themselves. Because of such a ridiculous reason, everyone has formed an unspoken rule to crazily improve their scientific research level in the 6th level civilization, but they can't touch taboo technology. All the 6th level civilizations want to break through the 7th level civilization in another way, and at this moment, the taboo technology Chinese classics is now in the sight of all civilizations in the universe. 52%. Chapter 251. Hostility from the entire universe. Test the current technological level of the Great Qin Empire, and carry out calculations to destroy it. There is no need to discuss it. Regardless of whether or not Qin Sheng turned into a traitor, the Great Qin Empire, which has touched taboo technology, shouldn't exist in this Fang universe. How can a civilization at the peak of the 5th level capture Leviathan? After the last time it fought against the Nail Interstellar Chaos Warrior, the Great Qindi Kingdom disappeared for 19 years. Who knows what it's doing? The entire high-level trial of the Holy See fell into discussion. Hu Jin's eyes shone with a strange brilliance. After learning that Qin Sheng had obtained the inheritance of forbidden technology, he opened up a place in the universe that no one dared to touch. Pandora's box. Hu Jin felt astonished on the one hand, but admired Qin Sheng's skill on the other hand. From the rise of the Great Qin Empire to the present, it has not even been 100 years, and this time is just a drop in the ocean for these advanced civilizations that have survived countless star cycles in the universe. But in just a few decades, the Great Qin Empire has developed from an indigenous civilization in the Milky Way to one that is now able to stand proud of the entire universe, and even make the Holy See fall into a trap of giants. However, in the 19 years since the Great Qin Empire disappeared, the attitude of the Holy See towards Qin Shang has undergone earth-shaking changes. If the former Qin Shang, the Great Qin Empire, was a civilization that could be destroyed by judging the Holy See, it has now refined the taboo technology, making a supreme leviathan the Qin of the Great Qin Empire's battleship. Shang has become a behemoth capable of negotiating with the Holy See face to face. The demons of the plane, even if they judge the Holy See, cannot be said to have complete confidence in capturing them alive. But now, no one knows what method Qin Shang used to make a leviathan the driving force of the Great Qin Empire. After calculation, I am afraid that even if we use the strongest weapons, we will not be able to solve the Great Qin Kingdom. After a long time, a response came from the front office of the Holy See. All the high-level officials present were silent, not knowing what to say. In just 19 years, a civilization that was at their disposal could no longer be controlled. Open up a wormhole channel, lead the battleship group, go to judge the Vice Hall of the Holy See, and at the same time spread the news that the Great Qin Empire used taboo technology to capture Leviathan alive, so that all the 6th-level civilizations of the Luotlin sub-star group will be dispatched. Quote. At this moment, a majestic voice came, and a gleam of light flashed from the Judgment Holy See, and a figure was transmitted over. This person was 9 times like a human race, but he had 6 eyes. The eyes are shining with the light of wisdom. He has a tall and burly body, and the white robe on his body is also different from that of ordinary high-level judges of the Holy See, making him look even more secluded. See Lord Envoy. This figure is the supreme existence of the judgment of the Holy See, the judgment of the God Envoy, or it can be said that in the entire universe, it can be regarded as the top high-ranking person. Following the order of the God of Judgment, even he dared not say anything. They are just a part of the Judgment Holy See, and the Judgment God Envoy is the highest leader of the Judgment Holy See. The power and technological wisdom they possess are enough to make anyone crazy about it. But the most powerful thing about the God of Judgment is that it has the spiritual power comparable to that of a 6th-level monster. It is said to be an existence protected by the creator of the world. Hu Jin sighed in his heart. Qin Shang, you are leading the Great Qin Empire, and you can really cause countless troubles. This time, you can only ask for luck. Quote, with the order of the God of Judgment, the Holy See of Judgment immediately opened a space jump wormhole, and there were 1,000,000 6th-level civilized battleships pouring into the wormhole, making a space jump, and went straight to the Vice Hall of the Holy See of Judgment. At the same time, the news that the Great Qin Empire captured Leviathan and transformed it into a battleship using taboo technology was conveyed to the hands of the 6th-level civilizations through the Cosmic Star Field Information Transmission Network. No one can imagine how Qin Shang obtained such technology, and no one can imagine why Qin Shang was able to capture a Leviathan or the top-level demon among Leviathans. And what no one can imagine, let alone imagine, is how powerful the Great Qin Empire is at this moment. In the Great Wall system of the Northern Crown Tower. Ha ha ha, that's it. That damn guy is about to be attacked by a crowd. Pence looked at the news he got, and his face couldn't help showing joy. The last time Qin Shang slapped him in the face under the watchful eyes of countless civilizations, this made Pence remember until now. After Carl received the news from the trial of the Holy See, there was a huge wave in his heart. As the main commander of the entire carbon-based alliance, Carl is naturally aware of the horrors of taboo technology, and even more aware of the subversion such technology will bring to the entire universe. The last time I faced the civilization that created this interstellar biological battleship transformation plan, under the siege of countless 6th-level civilizations, in just a few days, the thousands of years of star territory covered by the entire 6th-level civilization, all were destroyed at once, no one survived, and the scientific research records were also destroyed by everyone, and no one copied it. Carl didn't know how Qin Shang obtained such a thing, and it was even more difficult to imagine what kind of power the Qin Empire, which put this plan into action, now has. Qin Shang still doesn't know that big trouble is about to come. In the Vice Hall of the Holy See, he watched the many transformations that have taken place in the Vice Hall of the Holy See over the past 20 years. After Qin Shang left the Vice Hall of the Judgment Holy See, Nuo Jiao's, the speed of the subspace became more frequent, from the first 3 years to the next 2 years, and recently, even once a year, and every for one attack, the number of 5-level monsters will increase their lungs. In the last year's invasion, the subspace dispatched a total of 17 5th-level demons from various evil god forces, but no matter how many there were, they could not resist the tens of thousands of Yongle Great Emperor warships stationed in the Vice Hall of the Holy See. Even if 17 level 5 monsters attacked together, they would be wiped out in an instant under the salvo bombardment of tens of thousands of Yongle Great Emperor battleships. 49 5th-level monsters appeared in the strongest fluctuation in the past 20 years, but even so, there was still no splash. It can be said that the current fleet of the Great Qin Empire is invincible in the world. Even a 6th-level civilization can break the wrist without using regular weapons. 52%. Chapter 252. Weighing your own skills. Just as Qin Sheng began to deploy the next defense, in the star field where the Vice Hall of the Holy See is located, dense transition light holes suddenly appeared. When millions of warships traveled countless light years and came to the Holy See at the time of the Vice Hall, Qin Sheng knew that something might have gone wrong. Great Qin Empire, hand over taboo technological products and accept the trial of the Holy See. If you disobey, immediately execute the obliteration order. Great Qin Empire, hand over taboo technological products and accept the trial of the Holy See. If you disobey, immediately execute the obliteration order. Great Qin Empire, hand over taboo technological products and accept the trial of the Holy See. If you disobey, immediately execute the obliteration order. 3 propagation sounds that resounded for tens of light years shot out from among the millions of battleships. Qin Sheng's eyes narrowed slightly. It turned out that it was because of the biological battleships he built. Qin Sheng stood up, wearing a battle armor on his body. When Qin Sheng left the Vice Hall of the Holy See, countless light spots locked on Qin Sheng's body. Qin Kengshuan 10th voice, what did I do wrong? Is it worth judging the Holy See for using so many troops against me? If you don't abide by the laws of the universe and pursue forbidden technology, that is the biggest crime you have committed. Hand over the taboo technological products, and I will judge the Holy See to destroy them. I will try to win a chance for you afterwards, or I will execute the obliteration immediately. Qin Sheng was not afraid at all. He looked at the densely packed battleships in the sky, and sneered, it's too early to scare me. All tactical humanoid girls obey orders. Deploy for battle. Elise, take me there. The next moment, a purple light group rose from Xuanyuan Genesis, enveloping Qin Sheng in it, and Qin Sheng's body teleported into the command cabin of Xuanyuan Genesis. On the head of the demon of the plane, there is a small piece of transparent cabin, where Qin Sheng can deploy everything. Following Qin Sheng's order, tens of thousands of warships rose up in the Vice Hall of the Holy See. Although these warships are still only at the 5th level of civilization, the deterrent power of tens of millions of warships is obviously not small. When the black gun barrel met the Holy See, the people in the Holy See knew that Qin Sheng was a stubble. Seeing this, Ku Jin quickly said, don't be in a hurry to fight, we don't know what kind of power the taboo technological product can erupt. If we lose, millions of warships will be lost here. Words are a great loss. Ku Jin, CICB, get the hell out of here. You have protected this person again and again, do you also have collusion with subspace chaos? At this time, a beautiful shadow stepped out. The woman's figure was extremely graceful, protruding forward and backward. Zonblu's long hair was scattered behind her, and the body was like an ordinary judge, with light spots shining. His face turned dark. This guy was named Man Luo, and his status in the Holy See was comparable to his. At this moment, with the sign of Man Luo, the millions of warships of the Holy See of Judgment have all entered the state of preparation for battle, ready to sweep the entire Vice Hall of the Holy See of Judgment with blazing artillery fire, and wipe out the civilization of the Great Qin Empire. Qin Sheng sat in the command cabin of the demon of the plane, with a look of disdain flashing across his face. Beside Qin Sheng, Elise put her hands on both sides of Qin Sheng's temples. Clusters of purple light lingered, and the two with the same spiritual consciousness at this moment. Qin Sheng can directly control the Xuanyuan Genesis to launch an attack with just one thought. Qin Sheng, obediently hand over the monster under you, it's not something you can get your hands on. Man Luo was standing in the command room of the ship, and his voice echoed through the flow of light, echoing in the servants, wait. Hearing this, Qin Sheng shook his head. It doesn't matter if you can get your hands on it or not. I have no intention of being an enemy of the Judgment Holy See. Speaking of which, I am still a member of the Judgment Holy See, and I should be all prosperous to fight against the chaos of the subspace. But the successive hostility shown by the Holy See on trial made me very unhappy. Quote. After a pause, Qin Sheng went on to say, if you make me unhappy, I will die. Crazy fool. An angry look flashed across Man Luo's pretty face. Teach him a lesson. Let him know how powerful the trial of the Holy See is. Following Man Luo's order, the gun barrels of millions of battleships began to gather light energy, and the arc jumped. In an instant, all the battleships fired in salvo, and the target was the Xuanyuan Shuangxi. Brilliant rays of light energy form an extremely strong energy fluctuation in the universe. Under this force, let alone destroy a place as big as the Vice Hall of the Holy See. It is easy to destroy a civilization that has just stepped into level 6. Qin Sheng snorted coldly. Under Qin Sheng's idea, the demon of the plane tore through the sky. A violent space torrent emerged from the sharp feet of the demon of the plane, and the cosmic string was fiddled within an instant before the light energy ray falls. The rules in the entire space of the Vice Hall of the Holy See have changed. When these rays of light energy descended, all the light energy was reflected by the mirror image, and returned intact to the Judgment Holy Sea's million battleships. All of a sudden, 1/10 of the entire fleet of the Judgment Holy See was wiped out. In just one round of fighting, Qin Sheng did not even use a single soldier, and the Judgment Holy See has already paid a huge price. Man Luo's face became a little gloomy. Use the underlying logic weapon to adjust the distorted cosmic strings, and the next step is to strike causally, directly acting on the demon of the plane itself. Qin Sheng had already guessed the plan of judging the Holy See. The usual weapon attack method was not effective. The next step he thought of was the low-level logical weapon and the weapon of causality that can only be mastered by a 6th-level civilization. But such weapons are very important to the Great Qin Empire for that matter. What can it do? As a high-dimensional creature, the demon of the plane has no physical body in this 3-dimensional universe, and all blows are invalid. Under the control of Qin Sheng, the third row of the demon of the plane waved its legs, filling up a cyan light flow, and this light flow formed a quantum superposition state under the interweaving and winding of the cosmic strings. The energy fluctuations seem to be superimposed on countless layers of space, and from the plane of unknown levels, the blow is mapped to the present universe. At the moment when the energy fluctuations appeared, nearly half of the warships in the Holy See fleet lost their energy supplies, and the warships stopped without power, floating in the void like broken copper and iron. The figure of Qin Sheng emerged from the Xuanyuan creation, and the figure tens of millions of kilometers away showed a lavender color. Qin Sheng said slowly, it was a warning just now. If you don't weigh your own abilities, this hit out, but there is no chance of turning back. 53%. Chapter 253 I'm threatening you. Seeing Qin Sheng being so arrogant, Man Luo felt a deep sense of powerlessness in his heart. Before this, she had never seen anyone, what kind of battleship, who could instantly cause nearly half of the battleships in her own battleship to lose control. Besides, the coldness in Qin Sheng's tone made Man Luo he believed that if he persisted, Qin Sheng would definitely make a move. Before dispatching the warships, the high-level officials who tried the Holy See had never imagined that 1,000,000 warships would be forced into such a situation by one person and one warship. Behind Man Luo, she had an unpredictable smile on her face. When she saw Man Luo's reaction, she knew that this farce was destined to end in an anticlimactic manner. It has to be said that the power displayed by the Xuanyuan creation at this moment is really too powerful, so powerful that it is not even comparable to any technology. For the trial Holy See, even if you want to use a logical weapon or a causal law weapon, you still need to debug and lock it before you can change your hand. As for the demon of the plane, he only needs to swing his feet to twist and manipulate the cosmic strings without pressure, ignoring all the rules of space restrictions. In the real material space, the existence of the demon of the plane is a variable, a complete alien. Because of this, the demon of the plane is also very reasonable. If the weakness of the demon of the plane is found, even a battleship may be enough to deal with this monster, but if it is not found, such a terrifying battleship, even if in the face of tens of thousands of ships, there is no fear. After a long time, Qin Sheng saw that there was no response from the Judgment Vatican fleet. Qin Sheng knew in his heart that these guys might have tacitly accepted Qin Sheng's threat and dared not act rashly anymore. If the fight continues, Qin Sheng believes that relying on the horror of the demon of the plane, it is enough to catch this group of guys by surprise, and the city of warships is not enough in Qin Kang's eyes. Since you choose to stop, let's have a good talk. Since my great Qindi kingdom came to prominence until now, I have never done anything that endangers the coexisting life forms in the universe. Instead, I have helped you deal with the ravages of the chaos demon several times. But what have you given me back? Doubts and mistrusts. Even now, things have disappeared. Qin Sheng paused for a moment, and a playful look flashed in his eyes. What I have to do is very simple, that is, tear off the fig leaf of your 6th-level civilization that has developed for countless years. Clearly knowing that the development of science and technology alone cannot make breakthroughs in dimensions and reach a higher level of leap forward, but only because they are afraid that someone will overwhelm them and suppress and destroy the results of new scientific and technological research. My great Qin Empire has now reached the pinnacle of a 6th-level civilization, and is not afraid of any civilization in the world. If you want to attack it together, I will wait and see. See if your heads are hard, or my battleship is harder. Quote. As soon as Qin Sheng's words fell, a ray of light flashed above the Judgment Holy Sea battleship group, and the body of the Judgment God Envoy appeared in the universe. He doesn't have the slightest bit of protection on his body, but whether it's cosmic rays or the extreme environment in the universe, it can't affect the God of Judgment in the slightest. Well said. The God of Judgment spoke loudly, and in the fleet behind him, a gleam flashed in Man Luoshi's eyes. He had just been teased by Qin Sheng, a hateful and arrogant idiot, and anger had already piled up in Man Luoshi's heart. At this very moment when the divine envoy who judged the Holy See came here, Man Luo finally didn't have to suppress the anger in his heart. I asked you to hand over the taboo technological creations to give you the possibility of survival. You don't know good and bad things, and you dare to speak out to ridicule me. The civilization of the Holy See deserves death. Ha ha ha. Qin Sheng laughed loudly and said, it seems that even the civilization of judges who are as advanced as you are not all wise men like Ku Jin, but also full of ignorant idiots like you. After saying that, Qin Sheng's eyes became sharp. If you want to destroy the great Qin Empire, you can try it yourself. The moment Qin Sheng finished speaking, countless leap holes appeared in the surrounding star field again, and dozens of 6th-level civilizations came across countless light years, and the target was Da Qin Empire. The creation of taboo technology has attracted the wrath of most of the 6th-level civilizations in the entire universe. When these 6th-level civilizations are twisted together and regard Qin Sheng as a common enemy, not everyone can understand this anger bearable. And when these 6th-level civilizations saw the huge creation with a length of 3,000 kilometers, they all exclaimed in horrified. Is that a civilizational creation of taboo technology? It looks like a living organism, but it doesn't look like a warship at all. It is said that there is some kind of starry space behemoth, which seems to be called Leviathan. It is very scary, but there is no such record in the literature of our civilization. I'm ignorant, that's the demon of the plane. 1,000 star rounds ago, a crazy 6th-level civilization developed such a biological transformation plan and tried to create such a product, but it was wiped out by many civilizations. Why did things appear in the hands of the great Qin Empire again? Among these 6th-level civilizations, there are old 6th-level civilizations that have inherited hundreds of thousands of stars, and there are also some newborn 6th-level civilizations that do not know what happened. 0. But when these 6th-level civilizations saw the Xuanyuan creation, they couldn't help but feel murderous towards Qin Sheng and the great Qin Empire. Reaching the 6th level of civilization is the supreme existence in this Fang universe. No one wants to let an inconspicuous existence that has grown from fortune to rise in less than 100 years be crushed on their heads. We have a full 17 million warships, what do you use to fight us? Man Luo sneered and continued. There was also a hint of admonishment on the face of the God Envoy of Judgment. Hand over this monster, and the Holy See will give you the greatest possible chance of survival. Qin Sheng heard the words. A cold light flashed in his eyes. You can come and try, 17 million warships are enough to kill me. In addition, if one really intends to die, there is no need for this living universe to exist. Quote. The God of Judgment stared at Qin Sheng, with a hint of anger in his tone. Are you threatening me? Qin Sheng looked at the God of Judgment, and suddenly smiled. Yes, I am threatening you. If the current universe cannot survive, Qin Sheng can bring a group of tactical humanoid girls under his command into the subspace, and within 1,000 years, Qin Sheng is confident that the entire current universe can be wiped out. The God of Judgment shouted. That will end under God's punishment. The next moment, a brilliant psychic energy flooded the universe, arousing a long rainbow that was thousands of kilometers away, and the killing intent went straight to Qin Sheng. 53%. Chapter 254 Equality. Scary psionic. When this spiritual energy bombarded Qin Shang felt that the aftermath of the energy surging in front of him was like a roaring ocean wave, setting off a height of tens of thousands of kilometers. Master Divine Envoy is worthy of being the most proficient in psionic energy in the universe. Even if the 6th level monster, even the 6th level Zinch monster who is best at psychic manipulation, I'm afraid it won't be able to create such power as the envoy. The Great Qin Empire is about to end. We just have to watch the show. This battle doesn't even need us to take action. Among the dozens of 6th level civilizations around, the vast majority of people think so. Even though the demon of the plane looks extremely bluffing, in front of dozens of 6th level civilizations, even if you are a Leviathan, what can you do? What's more, the envoy has already made a move. Under the power, the Qin Empire could not escape death. 163 inches Rao. Even Qin Shang did not know how the Judgment Angel could refine such a pure and majestic spirit without being corroded by the subspace. Able. However, such things as psionic power are not only mastered by the Judgment God, Qin Shang is not inferior to him in the slightest. These civilizations present did not know the horror of the demon of the plane, let alone the power of Qin Shang. Yao Yao pointed out that the psychic energy turned into a violent thunder, rushing from Qin Shang's fingertips, and turned into a howling thunder at the moment of leaving the body, blasting out like an electromagnetic cannon, and met the Judge God above the power constructed by psionic energy. For a while, the two were evenly matched, but the dozens of 6th level civilizations around them dropped their jaws in shock. Until the Oracle managed the entire Holy Sea of Judgment single-handedly, from scratch, led the civilization of judges to gallop in the universe, with almost no failures, among the thousands of Star Wheel. In the end, he obtained his current status and achievement, as well as his own strength. It can display extremely powerful psychic powers, which is no surprise to the major civilizations in the universe, but what makes them feel terrified is that Qin Shang, an inconspicuous boy, can also display such terrifying psychic powers. Yes, everyone instantly equated Qin Shang's identity with Zinch's divine selection. I am afraid that only the God chosen who has thrown himself into the chaos and turned into the most devout believer of Zinch can obtain such a powerful reserve of spiritual energy in such a limited life. A look of astonishment flashed in the eyes of the God of Judgment. The next moment, the God of Judgment used his spiritual energy again, and condensed a giant light blade in his hand. Pull out a long trajectory, and bombard Qin Shang on the Xuanyuan creation. Qin Shang smiled disdainfully, stretched out his hand, and the spiritual energy urged the surrounding space to distort, causing the space to collapse in a small area, crushing the light wave to pieces. The two fought dozens of times with psychic powers in just a dozen or so breaths, and Qin Shang easily deciphered all the tricks used by the God Envoy of Judgment. Damn the Great Qin Empire, it must have become Zinch's running dog. Not only the psychic power, maybe the technology of biological transformation is also obtained from Zinch. That's right, it must be like this. The scum of the life community. No wonder the Judgment Holy See wants this guy to die soon. Wait, the envoy seems to be delaying time, you see. Just as the two were fighting, the God of Judgment suddenly sneered and said, although you can't feel the fluctuations of chaos from your body, I'm afraid you have some kind of secret in order to obtain such powerful psychic power. But everything is useless, the weapon of karma is ready, let's disappear together with your ridiculous battleship. When the voice of the Judgment God Envoy fell, the Judgment God Envoy turned into a ray of light and dissipated again, and among the battleships of the Holy See, Manluo gave an order, and the weapons of karma fired. When the cannonball was fired, the violent flames burst into the body of the demon of the plane and rose up, ignoring all the rules. When the cause arises, the effect is already ripe. The law of causality is such an incomprehensible weapon. Manluo already showed an excited expression on his face. The God of Judgment also appeared on the battleship of the Holy See at this time. Looking at the news conveyed on the screen, the God of Judgment couldn't help but nodded. In this way, the monster warship should be destroyed. But the next moment, a strange loud noise roared in everyone's ears. When this echo sounded, it meant that Qin Shang, as well as the Great Qin Empire, fell into a rage. Because the demon of the plane has regenerated hull tissue, this causal law missile did not harm the demon of the plane itself, and because of the special meaning of existence of the demon of the plane, the law of causality could not affect the demon of the plane at all. Because of this, the sneak attack that the Holy See believed to be tried did not work. And when the sound waves sounded, the space began to collapse and distort, and the cosmic membrane seemed to be hit hard by someone, and began to sag and collapse. On the Xuanyuan creation, the first row of feet of the demon of the plane, the brilliance of dark purple flowed more than that, the power of plane recursion is fully revealed. When the fluctuating space seemed to be a surging sea level as it slid past the fleets of the Judgment Holy See and dozens of other sixth-level civilizations, the battleships exploded in groups, and the space presented a superposition state of countless layers. Battleship, there is no way to resist this terrible force. At this moment, when facing the Xuanyuan Genesis missile weapon directly, the excitement on Man Luo's face turned into fear, and the God of Judgment said coldly, "Start the space transition, speed." Obviously, the Judgment God Envoy knows some of the attack methods of the demons of the plane, although the recursion of the plane is strong enough to shake the star field within thousands of light years, resulting in the assimilation of all material existence in the plane fluctuations under the collapse and disintegration, but the method of cracking is also very simple. The turbulent waves on the surface of the space cannot affect the balance inside the space. You only need to make a space transition and stay in the balance 4.6 inside the space, and you can ignore the lethality of this surface recursion. Seeing this, Qin Sheng sneered again and again. The slaughter of these six-level civilizations gave Qin Sheng an extremely large number of dimensional origin points. At the same time, a series of technological means accompanied by the destruction of the battleship group appeared in Qin Sheng's mind. Among most of them are included in the two inheritance sixth-level scientific and technological records that Di Hao gave him back then, and Qin also has 10 small parts that have never been developed. The chill in Qin Sheng's eyes became more and more profound with the destruction of these 17 million warships. After this battle, the identity of the public enemy of the universe will be confirmed. I am afraid that I will become the sixth evil god besides Korn Zinch, Slanesh Nurgle, and Mara. Thinking of this, Qin Sheng had no choice but to smile bitterly. Will it eventually become the light of the universe? 53%. Chapter 255 The Light of Lotlanya, the Council of the Cosmic Community. Just as Qin Sheng's thoughts rose, the notification sound of the game system echoed in Qin Sheng's ears. Your title, Light of the Galaxy, has advanced. Currently changed to Light of Lotlanya. The Council of the Community of Shared Destiny of Civilizations in the Luodlan subgroup and even the entire universe has held a council to discuss your matter. Your great Qin Empire has aroused the disgust of many sixth-level civilizations. Soon, they will send a fleet to find and contact you. However, it is still unknown what will happen after taking over. Hearing this notification sound from the system, Qin Sheng couldn't help shaking his head and sighing. In the beginning, everyone could sit down and get along with each other in harmony, so we have to come to this point. The Luotranya star group is the interstellar space where the Vice Hall of the Holy See is located, and the surrounding area of 3.5 billion light-years belongs to the Luotlanya star group. Although it is only the light of Lotuslandia, it is no different from the light of the universe at this moment. After all, Qin Sheng destroyed 17 million warships with one blow, which is already a heinous crime, enough to cause all six-level civilizations hostile. In the process of becoming more and more powerful, Qin Sheng discovered that the ideas of these advanced civilizations are very simple, internal and external. Xenophobia is well understood, resisting all violations from the subspace. And to fight inside is to make all the reactionaries inside, like Qin Sheng, who lead the great Qin Empire to touch taboo technology and violate the fundamental laws of the universe, they are the thorn in their flesh. Of course, the fundamental laws of the universe are also created by them, not the real laws of operation of the universe. To put it bluntly, all pros and cons are known by the Holy See and the top six-level civilizations. They say that if you are black, you are black, and if you are white, you are white. Faced with such hegemony, Qin Sheng is naturally not used to it, and now Qin Sheng has also stood at the top level of this universe, the pinnacle of the sixth-level civilization, relying only on the Xuanyuan Genesis under him, Qin Sheng enough to despise all level 6 civilizations. This battle was a big blow to all the sixth-level civilizations who came to participate in the encirclement and suppression. Almost all the accompanying warships were destroyed by Qin Sheng's blow, and only the main ship in the fleet had the chance to escape from this starfield and linger on. After the Judgment Holy See returned to the main hall, it immediately convened several top sixth-level civilizations in the universe to conduct a trial council against Qin Sheng. In the grand and solemn hall, the Judgment God Envoy sat on a giant chair made of white jade and gold. Since the great Qin Empire has chosen to touch taboo technology, it is against the decent civilization of our entire universe. Quote, as a suspected Zentan God's chosen, we have reason to doubt whether Qin Sheng has been bewitching and spreading chaos consciousness in the Luotlanya star cluster. I propose to carry out a devastating strike in the star field, completely annihilate the Lualanya star cluster, and exterminate all living beings in it. Among the major civilizations present, there are Void Dragon Civilization, Carbon-Based Alliance, Silicon-Based Alliance, Daihao Civilization, and several unfamiliar civilizations. They are the Nova Civilization, the Council of Saint Malins, and the Court of Life. These 7 forces are not inferior to the existence of the Trial Holy See. If there is a gap between them, it is definitely only a gap in power coverage, not a gap in strength. Among them, the Nova Civilization has even formed a group of Nova Legions, a legion composed of 30 million superpowers who have undergone scientific research and transformation, invincible in the universe. The Saint Malins Council and the Court of Life are similar to the Carbon-Based Alliance and the Silicon-Based Alliance, a civilizational community formed by more than a dozen 6-level civilizations. Among them, the cooperation between the Saint Myron's Council and the Judgment Holy See is quite close, and even some rules of the Saint Myron's Council are directly copied from the Judgment Holy See. As for the God of Life, theoretically speaking, there are only 9 organisms in the God of Life. These 9 organisms can be traced back to the time of the Big Bang. As the first batch of organisms in the universe, they have a famous name: Titan creature. Among the forces controlled by the Life God Court, its own power far exceeds the changes brought about by technology. The body of each Titan is comparable to that of a planet, and the power it holds is extremely powerful. It can release destruction ray to destroy stars by raising its hand. Flipping hands can also be vitalized to revive the Death Star. I agree with the proposal. The ultimate extermination order should be implemented to target the Great Qin Empire and carry out an extermination strike. As soon as the voice of the trial of the Holy See fell, Aarons, the head of the Saint Myron's Council, agreed. The head of the Nova Civilization on the side, Nova snorted coldly, "The 2 of you are really wearing a pair of pants. As far as I know, the Great Qin Empire has never taken the initiative to provoke any civilization before. If you didn't judge the Holy See going first to find trouble with others, will you be labeled as such a virtue?" Nova was wearing crude armor. The helmet half wrapped his head, and his eyes glowed with light blue light. He looked like a boy of 16 or 17, but he was the leader of the entire Nova Legion. There are countless transformation superpowers all over its body, and it can even break through the limit of 3,000 times the speed of light with its physical body alone, and carry out space navigation. And Nova has always looked down on the high-ranking appearance of the Trial Holy See. For Nova, as long as he can become stronger, no matter what taboo 273 technology is, or violates the rules of the universe, as long as it does not involve collusion with the subspace, everything will be fine. All within Nova's tolerance. By the way, the rise of the Nova civilization took only 2,000 years, and it was the fastest rising civilization among nearly 100 star cycles, except for the Great Qin Empire. The agent of the God of Life slowly said, "Taboo technology must not be touched. This is always recognized in the universe. When a person touches such a technological civilization, it will bring countless civilization touches. The life and death of a Leviathan is a major event in the universe. Every time a Leviathan dies, the rate of entropy increase will be greatly accelerated, which is the root of the community of life." On the other hand, the arrogant and domineering attitude of the Great Qin Empire, coupled with its fact that it disappeared in the subspace for 3 years, and it disappeared for another 19 years last time, when it reappeared, it led Levy tank warships, it's hard not to associate them with warp space. Quote, "The Nether Dragon Civilization, the Carbon-Based Alliance and the Silicon-Based Alliance did not speak. Carl stood next to Kamkab, the leader of the Carbon-Based Alliance, and carefully analyzed the price of fighting against Shin Kong. At this moment, the person in charge of Daihao Civilization chuckled and said, Daihao Civilization does not participate in this crusade. The civilization of the Great Qin Empire was cultivated by Daihao, one of our Daihao civilizations. Zondihao Civilization has withdrawn. 53%. Chapter 256 Differentiated Life Community. When the voice of the Emperor Hao fell, all the heads of civilization present showed a hint of disbelief on their faces. As a top existence in the 6th level civilization, everyone couldn't imagine how Dihao would be connected with the Great Qin Empire, and a strange color flashed in the eyes of the God Envoy of Judgment. "So, the taboo technology is yours." Daihao Civilization rubbing and copying, and then passed it on to the Great Qin Empire. Daihao laughed loudly. "Don't splash dirty water. I admit that the Great Qin Empire is related to a Daihao in our Daihao civilization, but the taboo technology is not our handwriting. Other than that, no comment. You continue the meeting, I will take a step ahead. Quote. As soon as the words fell, the crystal blue Emperor Hao turned into a pure energy body and disappeared into the palace of the Holy See. The head of the Void Dragon civilization is a graceful middle-aged woman named Chu Xin. It is said that he is Leviathan himself, but because of the breakthrough of the realm and the improvement of scientific research technology, he transformed his body into such a human form, but at the same time, Chu did not lose his own power of the Void Dragon. If Chu Lun exploded with all his strength, he could still transform into a Void Dragon state. At this moment, Chu Dai said, since the Great Qin Empire is related to the Daihao civilization, I, the Void Dragon, will also withdraw from this council. The face of the God of Judgment sank. According to rumors, nearly 300 star epochs ago, a certain Daihao from the Daihao civilization rescued Chu Xin, who was on the verge of death under the siege of countless chaotic demons. There is this friendship between the two. This is not nonsense. This is about the safety of all life forms in the entire universe. The God of Judgment slapped the table with a grim expression on his face. Chu Xin snorted coldly. I can leave when I want to, and I can fight when I want to. The Great Qin Empire has no grievances or enmities with me, and it hasn't provoked me. Why, Your Excellency wants to forcibly form an alliance, and I will help you. Judge the Holy See to share this basin of muddy water. The God of Judgment made several emotions flow in his eyes, and after a long time, he took a breath and waved his hands. Get lost. Ah, Chu said disdainfully. I really admire such a kid. The current universe is like a pool of stagnant water. How many years has it not been full of vitality? Maybe, the taboo technology that you old antiques discarded is instead the ultimate universe that will rush to a higher level in the future. As early as 1,000 celestial epochs ago, the research on biological battleships was carried out, and now it is estimated that the subspace has been flattened, so why do we need to linger here like you, discussing countermeasures against space all day long? With that said, Chu Yang walked away. The face of the God of Judgment was ashen. Chu Xin, or Nova, or Dihao, who came to represent him just now. After all, they are all new civilizations that have inherited only a few hundred celestial wheels, or they have just taken over the heavy responsibility of the civilization leader. It is precisely because of this that these newcomers are more inclusive of new things. Nova laughed loudly. What bullshit entropy increase? In the final analysis, are you worried that someone will reach the 7th level of civilization earlier than you and overwhelm you? They are all worried about other people breaking through, and it is a custom that everyone is not allowed to rely on such a method to break through. I am not interested in talking about this extremely stupid truth. As long as the Great Qin Empire doesn't provoke me, I won't attack them. Quote. After saying that, Nova punched the space beside her, and the empty space burst open like broken glass. Nova stepped into it and disappeared. After Carl's analysis, Camcab, the leader of the carbon-based alliance, also learned that even if they join forces to deal with the Great Qin Di, the loss will not be a single bit. In the end, it is very likely that the carbon-based alliance will pay at least the price of the destruction of a 6th-level civilization. Camcab is not a newcomer. Camcab existed as early as 1,000 star wheels, and started to deal with that battle of annihilation, but the 6th-level civilization at that time had not yet developed such a weapon. Monsters, countless 6th-level civilizations caught them off guard, and they didn't realize the horror of biological battleships. But today's Great Qin Empire has already researched out such a monster, and has already taken action, destroying a total of 17 million warships in one action, without even the slightest chance of resistance. Makabu has to weigh it up, whether he has the courage to fight against the Great Qin Empire. What's more, as Chu Xin and Nova said, the Great Qin Empire has not shown such great ambitions at this moment. According to the information obtained by Cam Kabu, the Great Qin Empire has always been alone. I don't defend the civilization system, so what if it breaks through to the 7th level of civilization? It's not possible to wipe out all the 6th level civilizations in the entire universe, right? After 1,000 star rounds, Camcab's mentality has already undergone a great change, and he has no intention of participating in such a bad thing. You judge the Holy See with a high self-esteem and regard yourself as the leader of the entire universe. If you want to deal with all heresies, then you can do it yourself. I have a big family behind me, so I will not accompany you. This is the thought in Camcab's mind. As Camcab got up, Hyde, the leader of the Silicon-based alliance, also got up and was about to leave. The two reached a consensus based on this idea. On the one hand, they didn't want to get angry, and on the other hand, both of them had fought against Qin Sheng before, so they knew what kind of existence the great Qin Empire was. Those who are jealous must be investigated, and those who have revenge must be avenged. Mess with such a guy. If they have full confidence in destroying the great Qin Empire in an instant, then they will naturally carry out this extermination order together, but it is a pity that even people like Kamkab and Pied high-ranking people don't have such Wang Qinhao certainty. And if it can't be killed by one blow, the great Qin Empire will become a Tarsus maggot afterwards, until they are all wiped out. After the two expressed their apologies to the God of Judgment, they left the hall. The face of the God of Judgment was so gloomy that it was almost dripping water. Except for the person in charge and the agent of the God of Life, the rest of the civilization all left. Obviously, the life community is not monolithic in the entire universe. Some people are hostile to Qin Sheng, and naturally some are not. But now, obviously, there are many more people who are not hostile to Qin Sheng than them. Convey the news to the Mechanicus, Deathwatch, Street, Malin's Council and the Court of Life, and our 5 forces will discuss the trouble of the great Qin Di Kingdom. Quote. The Judgment God Envoy reached a conclusion in a short while, and another meeting will be held. 53%. Chapter 257. Strategies, Divide and Win. The Mechanic Cult and the Deathwatch are the strongest backups of the Judgment Holy See, and the two civilizations are also standing at the pinnacle of the 6th level civilization. This time, the plan of the Judgment God Envoy is to be closest to the Holy See. Although the Court of Life is not a vassal of the Holy See civilization, its dead-end attitude can still be used by the Judgment Angel. For the Judgment Holy See, or the judgment of the Divine Envoy, the most intolerable thing is any product that has anything to do with taboo technology. After so many star wheel deduction, the Judgment Holy See is infinitely close to the 7th level civilization in terms of scientific research and technology. Even without relying on the improvement of superstring theory and upgrading the dimension and level, the Judgment God Envoy is still sure to lead the entire Judgment Holy See into the 7th level civilization. This is unmatched by any 6th level civilization in the universe. But now that there is a change like the Great Qin Empire, if some civilizations perceive the power of the Great Qin Empire and perceive the horror of the technology of transforming battleships with organisms, and choose to devote themselves to the development of this part of civilization, the scientific research results of thousands of star wheels of the Holy See will be burned. The Judgment Holy See is selfish and does not tolerate any existence that can surpass itself. At the same time, the judgment of the Holy See is also conceited. The Judgment God cannot accept any novel products that exceed the rules of the universe itself, and will not accept these methods that can promote the development of 440 civilization. Still able to break through level 7 civilization. And all other methods and scientific research results are heresy. At this moment, Qin Sheng was sitting on the Xuanyuan creation in the Vice Hall of the Holy See, with his eyes slightly closed, and Elise was massaging Qin Sheng behind him. Anwei Lia and others were sent by Qin Sheng to upgrade the warships of the Great Qin Empire. The goal was to deploy all 10 million warships to the level of one emperor through the ages, and then start the interstellar colonization within the entire universe. After more than 20 years, Qin Sheng felt that the growth rate of the title of Lord of the Universe has improved a little, even if it is insignificant, but obviously, after he sowed the seeds of civilization, the Lord of the Universe has indeed gained uplifted. In this way, as long as the seeds of human civilization are spread widely enough, and most of the near-Earth planets in the entire universe suitable for human survival are left with the seeds of civilization, Qin Sheng will be able to adjust his posture when facing evil gods in the future. Qin Sheng, this is my last message to you at the risk of being discovered. Previously, God Envoy gathered 7 major civilizations, namely Nether Dragon, Carbon-Based Alliance, Silicon-Based Alliance, Daihao Civilization, Nova Civilization, Street, Malin's Council, and Titan Biological Life God Court to discuss your ultimate goal. An extermination order is deployed. But it seemed that the result was not happy. Lord Daihao left the council first, followed by Void Dragon Hillheart, Nova Civilization Nova the Great, Carbon-Based Alliance Kamkabu and Silicon-Based Alliance Pied. With the departure of these people, the God Envoy summoned the 2 major civilizations of Mechanicus and Deathwatch, and held a second round of council with the Council of Saint Malins and the Court of Life. This parliament against you may eventually deal a great blow to you, and even destruction is not guaranteed. But that's all I know, and nothing else. As for the attack methods and specific plans that the major civilizations will eventually carry out, these things are beyond my reach. I hope you can survive this difficulty. I believe that even if you step into the 6th level civilization with taboo technology, you will not completely turn the Great Qin Empire into an enemy of the universe. Quote. At this moment, a message from Ku Jin was forcibly inserted into the communication network of Xuanyuan creation, and fell into Qin Sheng's ears. Qin Sheng opened his eyes suddenly, watching Ku Jin's news. After a long time, Qin Sheng let out a foul breath. He knew that after that battle, the Holy See of Judgment would naturally regard him as a thorn in his side and retaliate against him, but what Qin Sheng did not expect was that the Holy See of Judgment would make such a big deal. Mechanicism and Deathwatch, these two level 6 civilizations have a CICE great reputation in the universe. Qin Sheng has seen the horror of Deathwatch with his own eyes in his last life. It can be said that these two civilizations are the Judgment Holy See. The two steel knives in his hands, instead of the Judgment Holy See, enforced the extinction order in the universe and carried out interstellar strikes and destruction. As for the existence of the Nova civilization, the God of Life and other councils that have assembled in the first round, although Qin Sheng has some impressions, he doesn't know the specifics of these civilizations. It seems that there is something related between Chu Shin and Daihao civilization. Qin Sheng thought so. For a long time, Qin Sheng recalled an interesting story he heard in his previous life, saying that the leader of the Nether Dragon seemed to be rescued from the siege of the Chaos Demon by some pure energy body. The leader of the Nether Dragon is naturally Chu Shin, and that pure energy body is very likely to be Dihao. Although Qin Sheng didn't know how these things happened, for some reason, it seemed that there was a hidden force that entangled these seemingly unrelated things together, but it was extremely clear. Probably because one of Daihao's civilization handed over the inheritance to me, Daihao's civilization didn't intend to get involved, and because of Daihao's life-saving grace, the Void Dragon Hills also followed Daihao's consciousness. After a little thought, Qin Sheng guessed what happened in the parliament that day. After Qin Sheng called Anbelia and Yeshuang, and arranged for the two to investigate the Nova civilization, as well as the specific composition of the carbon-based alliance and the silicon-based alliance, Qin Sheng was presented with a mountain of information. Afterwards, Qin Sheng began to analyze the plan. Not long after, a perfect plan emerged in Qin Sheng's mind. That is to divide and draw. The life community of the universe is not monolithic. This is the first news Qin Sheng got. The second news is that the universe at this moment is roughly divided into three forces. One side is a conservative faction like the Holy See who has been in a high position for a long time and does not want to be under the fence. Suppress all new heresies, and strive to develop their own civilization. On one side are conservatives like the Carbon-based Alliance and the Silicon-based Alliance. The so-called old people are afraid of death. Kamkab and Pied have changed from being greedy for power and position to analyzing the pros and cons of everything, and the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. It is absolutely impossible to do. The third party is the Nether Dragon, and new civilization forces like Nova civilization, like Nova, have great ambitions and want to break through the 7th level civilization. At the same time, this side and the trial of the Holy See have always been against each other. In this way, it only needs to divide the conservative faction and win over the conservative faction and the new faction, and the law to break the situation has already been established. 54%. Chapter 258. The first stop, the Void Dragon Star Field. When this plan emerged in Qin Sheng's mind, the first thing Qin Sheng planned to do was to find the Nether Dragon. As an extended civilization of Leviathan, Qin Sheng only needs to share the scientific research records of interstellar organism battleship transformation with Chu Shin. Qin Sheng believes that Chu will make the most suitable choice for the development of the Nether Dragon. Immediately, Qin Sheng led Anwei Lia, Yi Shuang, Long Mo, and Iris, the conscious body of the demon of the plane, on the Xuanyuan creation, heading for the Void Dragon. In the star map of 1/4 of the observable universe obtained by Qin Sheng, the star field where the Void Dragon is located is recorded in detail, the outermost part of the system. And in the northern Crown Great Wall system, the demons of the plains have left countless footprints, which can carry out space crossing anytime and anywhere. In just one thought, Qin Sheng leapt 3 billion light years away, and came to the void, the location of the dragon civilization. Here, Qin Sheng clearly noticed that an entire huge galaxy has been transformed into a place where the Nether Dragon civilization rests. There are countless dragon-type battleships shuttling here, but they are just dragon-type battleships, not biological battleships transformed from void dragons. The appearance of Qin Sheng has already attracted the attention of countless ships. The Void Dragon Star Domain does not exclude outsiders, but please indicate your civilization identity. At this moment, a piece of information was conveyed through the communication network of Xuanyuan Genesis. Qin Sheng noticed that the Void Dragon civilization seemed to be reasonable, and did not forcibly connect to the communication network of Xuanyuan Genesis. Genesis has stepped into the territory of the Nether Dragon, and is still trying to access it. Qin Sheng agreed to the request, and said in a loud voice, I am the Emperor of the Great Qin Empire, and I am here to discuss with the leaders of your civilization. As soon as this remark came out, many battleships in front of them immediately entered a state of preparation for battle, and they seemed not to dare to slack off. The 4 characters of the Great Qin Empire have now become a frightening name for a civilization in the universe. All civilizations know that the Great Qin Empire touched forbidden technology and created a giant monster, intending to invade the entire universe. The pioneer of the Void Dragon civilization did not notice the appearance of the warships of the Great Qin Empire before, only when a group of warships that came here suddenly was a group of warships undergoing a light hull transition, but now he got the news from Qin Sheng, he only paid attention now, where is the battleship group? It stretches for 3,000 kilometers, and it is a battleship. Qin Sheng sent a message again. Don't worry, I don't have any malicious intentions, otherwise I won't be so blatant. Please convey my message to the head of your civilization. If Your Excellency Chu Xin doesn't want to see me, I will take my battleship and leave. My lord, please wait a moment. After Qin Sheng's news was conveyed, the vanguard of the Nether Dragon quickly responded, his attitude lowered to the extreme. Qin Sheng couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Sure enough, no matter whether it's a good reputation or a bad reputation, as long as it has enough power, it will make people awe-inspiring. At the beginning, I was just a fledgling. I just left the Milky Way and came to the Great Wall system of the Northern Crown. I was despised by the pioneers of the silicon-based civilization, and even spoke rudely. Now I am famous in the entire universe. Wherever I go, no matter what civilization, I have to give myself some good face. Although everyone knows that at this moment, the Holy See has begun to deploy the extermination order against the Great Qin Empire, but this does not affect the fear of Qin Sheng, the horror of the Great Qin Empire. Destroyed 17 million level 6 civilized battleships with one blow, such a feat, even among the cosmic civilizations that have stretched for thousands of stars, no one can do it. After a while, the pioneer of the Nether Dragon said with a strange expression, the leader agrees to see you, but there is a request that you can only come alone. Qin Sheng laughed out loud. Since Chu Xin agrees with him, then Qin Sheng is absolutely sure of this matter. Emperor, be careful, it's a hangman banquet. It's okay, I'll go and have a look. Beside, Anwei and others tried their best to stop Qin Sheng, but Qin Sheng didn't care. Because from the time Chu Tong met him, Qin Sheng already knew that Chu Xin was greedy for the technology in his hands. Under the channel paved by Purple's light energy, Qin Sheng left the Xuanyuan creation ship, and was guided by the battleship of the Nether Dragon Herald to the Nether Dragon star field. The star cave jumped, and a luxurious black palace appeared in Qin Sheng's sight. This palace is suspended in the universe, and the buildings made of obsidian on it are shining with faint brilliance. Qin Sheng was led by the pioneers to the front of the palace, and after several people changed hands, he led Qin Kong to finally arrive at him, in the normal. On the luxurious but restrained throne, Chu was dressed in a black rich robe, his exposed skin was white and tender, but a little sickly, almost pale, holding a fistful of obsidian in Chu Xin's hand. The scepter and the crown on the head also showed Chu Xin's status. Emperor, sorry, in my country, I'm not good at calling people emperors. Chu Xin was condescending, looked at Qin Sheng in front of her, and said slowly. 0. Qin Sheng chuckled, and as Qin Sheng raised his hand, the psionic power formed a throne that was not inferior to those under the Chus. Qin Sheng sat on it. My name is Qin Sheng, and you can call me that too. Now I came here not only to see the elegant demeanor of the Void Dragon Queen, but also to discuss important matters. If Your Excellency wants me to participate in this mess between you and the trial of the Holy See, with all due respect, there is nothing I can do. I'm just selling the Daihao civilization as a favor, not the civilization of your Great Qin Empire. Seeing that his dismounting might not affect Qin Sheng, Chu Dai continued. Hearing this, Qin Sheng shook his head and said, No, I didn't come here in the face of Daihao civilization. This trip, I am representing the Great Qin Empire, representing myself, to discuss business with the Queen. Chu's heart throbbed. Since it was a business, there must be contacts, and what Chu Xin was thinking about was the method of transforming the interstellar biological battleship in Qin Sheng's hands. Although the Nether Dragon civilization is an extended civilization of Leviathan, like Chu Lun, it can completely change its body during the battle, but this does not mean that all nether dragons can do the same. Moreover, in today's Void Dragon civilization, most of the surviving Void Dragon Leviathans are old, weak, sick and disabled, and there are countless existences that are almost corrupt and dying. The Void Dragon civilization is in urgent need of reform. Qin Sheng stretched out a finger. I will hand over the scientific research records of interstellar organism battleship transformation to you, the Queen, and the Queen will provide me with some help. How can I get on? 54%. Chapter 259 Alliance. Chu Xin's body trembled. For the interstellar biological battleship transformation technology, after learning that the Great Qin Empire had completely mastered and transformed a plain demon, Chu Xin was already a little greedy. If this technology can be obtained, those void dragons in the clan who are already on the verge of corruption and decline can undergo biological transformation, transforming them into the form of battleships, and continue to shine for the Void Dragon clan and conquer the universe. Qin Sheng looked into Chu's eyes and was convinced in his heart that Chu's heart was moved. You want to use the interstellar biological battleship transformation technology in exchange for the help of my Void Dragon family to fight against the Holy See for you. Although I really want that technology, you are too wishful thinking. Right now, the Holy See of Judgment has gathered the Mechanicus, Deathwatch, Street Malin's Council and the Court of Life, and the 683 forces have gathered, even if I join. What kind of spray bouquet can you turn up? In the end, it's not the end of being destroyed, even my Void Dragon clan will be implicated. After a long time, Chu Xin's rationality still overwhelmed the desire for that technique. That's right, in the face of a 6-level civilized enemy that has gathered 5 top-level civilizations, what can the Great Qin Empire do even if it brings along the Void Dragon clan? Qin Sheng chuckled. I can provide you with technology. As long as I have enough resources, I can help your Void Dragon clan successfully transform the biological battleship within 3 months. Believe that in the hands of the Queen, there should be some Void Dragons that are no longer able to fight. The power of the demon of the plane is not just as simple as destroying 17 million warships in an instant. If I think about it, the Holy See can't even catch it, to me. Quote. After a pause, Qin Sheng went on to say, the entire universe is full of the footprints of the demons of the plane, and Leviathan can directly cross the space of the supercosmic membrane from the level of the cosmic membrane. I can go anywhere, to carry out space spanning, and this spanning is almost unlimited in distance. This is the benefit brought by the transformation of the interstellar organism battleship. Quote. Chu Xin's heart was shocked when she heard the words. She had heard of such things as the demon of the plane, but she had never seen it, and she didn't understand the demon of the plane at all. Now, after listening to what Qin Sheng said, it seems that the transformation of the biological battleship can still retain the fundamental instinct of Leviathan. Qin Sheng said slowly. As far as I know, the Void Dragon can also carry out this kind of space spanning and walk in the void. If the Void Dragon that is already aging in your civilization is given life again, afresh, what kind of strength should a Void Dragon equipped with the scientific research technology of the pinnacle of the 6th level civilization be able to unleash? Share the scientific research records with me. I don't know if what you said is true or not. At this moment, Chu Xin couldn't sit still anymore. Of the current Nether Dragon clan, there are only a few Nether Dragons who have lost the ability to fight. Except for her, all the Nether Dragons have become waste, consuming a lot of resources of the Nether Dragon clan every day to hang their lives. The head of Long Wenming, she wished she could kill all these old and immortal guys. Today, if there is the technology of transforming interstellar organism battleships, these Void Dragons that have lost their value can be transformed into warships. Chu believes that the Void Dragon civilization will definitely be able to reappear its glory. Without hesitation, Qin Sheng took out the research records of interstellar organism battleship transformation and shared them with Zhongxin. He was not at all worried that Chu Xin would turn his face and deny anyone after accepting the scientific research records. As long as he touches taboo technology, he will judge the enemies of the Holy See. Qin Sheng has already realized this. And it is impossible for Chu Xin, who has obtained this scientific research record, not to carry out biological transformation. After more than 10 minutes passed, Chu Lun let out a long breath. I agree to this deal. I will provide you with all the resources you need. Within 3 months, I will see another dragon battleship. Quote. Qin Sheng's face was full of joy. It's a happy cooperation, Your Excellency, Nanwang. Accompanied by Chu Xin, Qin Sheng left the Nether Dragon starfield, and after returning to the Xuanyuan creation, Qin Sheng ordered 3 million warships to come to the Nether Dragon starfield, using tactical humanoid girls to help the Nether Dragon clan with their warship transformation. It took 19 years to transform the demon of the plane, entirely because of insufficient resources. Most of the time was spent looking for resources. On the other hand, the demon of the plane was detached from the Leviathan. The non-material existence of the universe also needs to overcome many technical difficulties. Although the Nether Dragon is also a Leviathan, the Nether Dragon is a native creature in this universe, and the material basis has not changed at all. According to Qin Sheng's calculations, 3 months is already extremely sufficient. Already. After doing all this, Qin Sheng embarked on the journey again. Go to find the Nova civilization. According to the information obtained by Qin Sheng, Nova is an arrogant and somewhat domineering young man. Although he has survived for thousands of years, his character has not improved at all. The Nova Legion in the hands of Nova, a legion of 30 million superpowers, when facing hundreds of billions of Chaos Legion, can even send troops to the level where no one dies and all the enemies are wiped out. There are no warships in the Nova civilization, and every person with superpowers is an extremely powerful existence. It is precisely because of this that although the Nova Legion is a 6th-level civilization, what they occupy is only a small star system. With the arrival of the Xuanyuan creation, thousands of transformed superpowers dressed in Nova civilization wore electronics. On the captains of this group of teams, brilliant and fiery energy fluctuations were burning like a nebula, and the power contained in their bodies, in Qin Sheng's opinion, might not be inferior to the full blow of the purgatory ray. Qin Sheng couldn't imagine what kind of superpower transformation technology Nova had mastered, but he had to admit that every superpower user here was equivalent to a 4.8 warship. Great Qin Di Kingdom. The captain crossed his arms. Red's gauntlet was engraved with the icon of the Nova Corps. Obviously, the captain of this team could see Xuanyuan creation's heel at a glance. After all, in the entire universe, there is no warship with such a strange shape. Under the support of purple light energy, Qin Sheng stepped out of the Xuanyuan creation, and the character, Qin, was engraved on the blood-red battle armor. Please help me, little brother, to convey to Nova, the leader of your civilization. Before Qin Sheng could finish his sentence, a boy with a tail of colorful light flew over from the depths of the distant star field. Great Qin Di Kingdom, Nova roared, and the next moment, she stopped in front of Qin Sheng. What happened? Looking at the young man in front of him, Qin Sheng grinned. Alliance. 54%. Chapter 260 Nova Legion. There was no surprise on Nova's face, as if he had expected that Qin Sheng would choose to form an alliance with the Nova civilization. But it doesn't do me any good to ally with you. Nova touched his chin with one hand, and patted Qin Sheng's body with the other, as if he was looking for something unusual about Qin Sheng, and wanted to make a fortune. After a long while, Nova said slowly, "You don't want to be a white wolf with empty hands, do you? Asking my Nova Legion to help you fight against the Holy See, but there is no benefit. If the Nether Dragons join forces with you, they can obtain the technology to transform Leviathan from you, so what can I gain by joining forces with you?" Seeing the boyish Nova in front of him, Qin Sheng couldn't help laughing from the bottom of his heart. Nowadays, Qin Sheng really doesn't have any benefits to trade with Nova. The path that Nova is taking is also an extremely different path, but there is nothing wrong with the goal. If Nova can integrate technology into itself, Nova can be called the leader of the 7th-level civilization after transforming the superpower capable of twisting the cosmic strings and breaking through the cosmic membrane. But obviously, the current Nova is still some distance away from this point. But even Qin Sheng has no way to help Nova 28 to take a higher leap at this stage, but just when the two of them came into contact, Qin Sheng felt that there was no spiritual energy fluctuation in Nova's body. In other words, this Nova obtained superpowers purely by transforming her body. And without psychic power, wouldn't it be an opportunity for Qin Sheng to take advantage of? With a gloomy light flashing in Qin Sheng's eyes, the whisper of the void has already begun to operate. My great Qin Di has not only mastered the scientific research records of the transformation of warships, but also obtained the records of the transformation of human bodies. Through certain means, such transformations are enough to make the organisms as powerful as Leviathans. Strength. Although the Nova Legion is not considered weak now, and it is a top existence even among the 6th-level civilizations, but come to think of it, you have no way to compare with Chu Lun, who is a void dragon, right? If Chu reveals his body, no, it's probably not too much difference to say that I can completely abuse you. But if you master this technology in my hands, the Nova Legion will usher in a transformation, and even breakthrough to the 7th level civilization. With such benefits, can your civilization form an alliance with me? When Qin Sheng's voice fell, on Nova's helmet, the azure blue light covering the eyes had turned red, and it seemed that he was extremely eager to obtain this technology from Qin Sheng. All the Nova members on the side also showed a glimmer of hope, and Qin Sheng hit the current pain point of the Nova Legion just right. All the human body modification superpower plans have fallen into a bottleneck, and no further breakthroughs can be made. After all, the entire Nova civilization has only developed for 2,000 years, so it is extremely normal to have such embarrassment. But Qin Sheng's words gave them hope again, especially with the blessing of the Whispers of the Void. Nova, who has no spiritual power at all, has been completely brainwashed, and somehow firmly believes in Qin Sheng's words. Okay, I believe you. It's okay to form an alliance, but let's talk about the ugly words first. If we let the Nova Legion be cannon fodder, it will be impossible. Qin Sheng chuckled. Obviously, the Whisper of the Void this time did not fail. No problem. After a pause, Qin Sheng continued. But because the transformation plan of this technology has not yet been tested on humans, I can't hand over the technology to you for the time being, but don't worry, when this technology is completely mature, I will take it all away. I entrust it to you without omission. Good. Nova laughed out loud, and shook hands with Qin Sheng to make peace. For such a result, Qin Sheng was not surprised at all. Even without using Whispers of the Void, Qin Sheng can still persuade Nova in various ways. After all, Nova, or the entire Nova Legion, they were all dissatisfied with the trial of the Holy See. Because of the different paths taken, since the Nova Legion began to show its prominence, the Judgment Holy See has suppressed it several times, and it is precisely because of this reason that Nova did not spare any leaving affectionately. After the two confirmed their alliance, under Nova's kindness, Qin Sheng took Anvilia and others into the star system where the Nova Legion was located. There is a giant Dyson sphere that orbits the star to absorb energy, and all the planets are extremely developed. This is the first time Qin Sheng has seen a 6th-level civilization stationed in the galaxy, and all the resources on each planet can be fully utilized. Utilizing it, the Nova Legion covers countless races in the universe, and Nova himself is a kind of humanoid race similar to the human race. According to Nova, it is the Gamasti race, is extremely rare. It is precisely because among the Gamacid race, there is an ancient book that records some techniques of human biological transformation, so that Nova embarked on this scientific research path that can almost be judged as heresy by the Holy See. But obviously, Nova did not go wrong. On the main star of the Nova Legion, Qin Sheng slowly landed with a starship, and Nova said, "Actually, I already had the idea of joining forces with you during the original meeting. It's not that I have to take any benefits from you, but I've long been annoyed by the judgment of the Holy See. If 787 said that if you and I join forces, it can cause serious damage to the Judgment Holy See, and let their old stubborn know that there are still new stars in the universe, even if there is no benefit, I will join hands with you." Quote. Qin Sheng nodded. Before you, I also cooperated with the Void Dragon clan. You can actually convince that girl. It seems that the Void Dragon clan is really in desperate need of the Leviathan modification technology. From Nova's mouth, Qin Sheng learned that the Void Dragon clan at this time is already a strong outsider, and this is what Qin Sheng also guessed when deducing the information of the civilizations. Nova said slowly, "There are many civilizations in the universe that are hostile to the Holy See, and I can recommend them to you in the near future. If we can persuade all these civilizations, we will gather a force that is not inferior to judge the power of the Holy See. Secondly, I have encountered a big problem at the moment, but with the strength of the Nova Legion, there is no way to solve it. This is the fundamental reason why I invited you here. Also please help me to solve this matter." Quote. Qin Sheng raised his eyebrows and said, "It doesn't matter what it is, since we are allies, we should help each other." Nova nodded heavily. "With your words, I feel relieved." With that said, Nova led Qin Sheng to a very tall building, all the way to the top floor. Very tall building, all the way to the top floor. Very tall building.